Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. All Mage. Only I Know How to Kill Dragons. Chapter 1. Kyushu Empire, Tianan Province, Luocheng Second Master Middle School. The Magic Teaching Room of Class 3 and 2 of High School. Students, what we are going to learn today is the First Order Defensive Magic, Magic Shield. As we all know, our mage's magic is very powerful, but we are very weak. So in addition to wearing magic protective gear, it is extremely important to master the necessary defensive magic. The teacher demonstrates it first, and then tells the students how to use the magic shield. In class, the Fourth Order Mage Tang Wanjin is impassioned. This is his consistent teaching method. Hey Su Shin, wake up, I learned something new today, are you still sleeping? After leaving high school, if you can't go to the Master's University, you will need money to learn magic. Don't you like prostitutes the most? Wake up. In Class 5 classroom, at the back row near the window, classmate Zhang San woke up Su Shin, who was dozing off. Su Shin opened his sleepy eyes. Although it is a tense moment about to face the college entrance examination, I know what level 1 am best. He has already decided which college to go to, so it doesn't matter whether he sprints a month before the college entrance examination. However, when Su Shin opened his eyes, it happened that Mr. Tang was bathed in a burst of blue light, and the blue light turned into a halo shield that was visible to the naked eye to wrap him tightly, as if it was as solid as gold. Old Tang. Su Shin was shocked. The head teacher, Old Tang, is not doing his job properly, performing magic tricks in class. What are you surprised about? Old Tang is a mid-tier 4th-tier mage. Isn't it simple to cast a first-tier defensive spell? Zhang San looked at Su Shin, thinking that he hadn't woken up yet. Magic. Hearing Zhang San's words, Su Shin immediately showed an incredulous expression. He looked again. I found that the familiar students in the class were all watching Old Tang attentively, listening carefully to his explanation of the First Order Defensive Magic Shield. And at this moment, a whole new memory suddenly flooded into my mind. In memory, although this world is a modern society, it is an era where everyone can awaken to become a mage. The area of the Blue Star is also many times larger than before, and there are still many areas that have not been explored. Demonic beasts are rampant on the Blue Star, and they have always been the greatest enemy of human beings, and the most powerful ones are dragon-type magical beasts. Su Shin stared. He was dumbfounded. He just fell asleep directly to another world line. Su Shin, you awakened the fire element last year, with an affinity of 40, full affinity is 100. According to this aptitude, you should become a first-level mage after a year. Come up and learn how to use it from the teacher. Put on the magic shield. At this time, Teacher Tang called Su Shin. Su Shin got up immediately. He said confidently, Teacher Tang, I don't know how to do it. Okay, then sit down. Liang Yun, come up and demonstrate. Old Tang shook his head slightly and called the monitor of the 3rd class. I saw class leader Liang Yun go up. Without waiting for Old Tang to signal, he cast the magic directly, and a water-blue hexagonal magic circle suddenly appeared around his body, and then a wave-like magic cover enveloped him. Okay, very good. Liang Yun, are you already a second-rank high-ranking mage? Old Tang's eyes lit up immediately. Looking at his lover, his eyes were full of surprises. Liang Yun was a short-haired girl with a pretty face and a somewhat introverted personality. She responded lightly at this moment, but she was not proud. What? The squad leader is already in the 2nd rank. So fierce. I'm just a first-order earth mage now, and I only mastered one first-order earth magic. Worthy of being the beauty of our number. 2 middle school, talent and beauty stand side by side. I can't slack off anymore. I've decided to stay up late tonight and meditate. The classroom suddenly became lively. Classmates, what you say to each other makes Liang Yun blush and feel embarrassed. Sounds like a very powerful. Su Shin pondered for a moment. An 18-year-old 2nd-rank high-ranking mage, this is definitely going to be able to enter the 9th grade Mage University of the Empire. The classmate Zhang San next to him was full of envy. Mage University, what do you say? Su Shin's heart moved, and he asked a question. Zhang San replied, what else can I say? A good mage university must have talent requirements. Su Shin, which wizard university are you going to apply for? Your parents are martyrs, and the unified examination for wizards will give you extra points. If you work harder with your qualifications, the top 70 or so wizard universities in the country should not be a problem. Su Shin stopped talking. He found that there was no magic power in his body at all, nor the power of the fire element. In other words, he crossed the world line and came to the parallel world. Although his identity and background have not changed much, he is not a mage. Go on like this. The students are all mages, and you are just an ordinary person. I'm going to go to Los Angeles Masters University. Although Los Angeles Masters University is not ranked in the top 100 in the country, it is a university in my hometown after all, and it has a lot of preferential treatment for local master's students. Su Shin didn't really listen to what Zhang San said later. Ding, I noticed that the host's mental state is stable, and the dragon-slaying magic system is being bound. The binding is successful. Congratulations to the host for getting the binding package. Do you want to open it now? At this time, a strange voice sounded in Su Shin's mind. System, my golden finger. Su Shin froze suddenly. Open. Without hesitation, he immediately opened the binding gift bag. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Iron Dragon Slayer magic and the Fire Dragon Slayer magic from the binding gift package. In an instant, Su Shin only felt that he was endowed with an unprecedented power. The moves and secrets of the two kinds of dragon-slaying magic are like imprints, deeply imprinted on his instinct. At the same time, in Su Shin's mind, his personal information panel suddenly appeared. Host, Su Shin. Age, 18. Level, Tier 1 Lower Mage. Strength, 110 for normal adults. Defense, 210 for normal adults. Spirit power, 20. 1 for the average adult. Mana, 100. Fire element magic power and gold element magic power are 100 each. Mastered magic. None except dragon slaying magic. Dragon Slayer Master Adaptive LV1. 0 upgrade to LV2 if you meet 1000 experience points. Talent. Magic transformation. Physical talent brought about by the self-adaptive ability of Mage Dragon Slayer. Each level of self-adaptive ability will gain a talent. Magic power conversion. The same amount of magical power of one attribute can be converted into another magical power. For example, the magic power of fire element can be converted into magic power of water element. Unconsciously, Su Shin stood up. Su Shin, sit down. Don't disturb the classroom order. Okay, teacher. In class, the head teacher, Old Tang, began to talk about the unified examination for mages. This is similar to the college entrance examination, but for mage students. The unified examination is divided into essay test and actual combat, of which actual combat accounts for a high proportion of points. And there is only half a month left before this year's master examination. Most of the students looked dignified and serious when they heard the unified examination for mages. Only Su Shin acted like a fool who didn't know why. In the actual combat of the unified examination, it is inevitable to fight against monsters, so the school will arrange a simulated actual combat from tomorrow. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, continued to speak. The implication is to let the students come to the school for actual combat simulation starting tomorrow. After he confessed a few words later, he announced the dismissal of Get Out of Class. Because the exam is approaching, there will be no courses in the future. Los Angeles Tianyun Community. Su Shin stood at the door of his house with a pondering expression. It is true that his parents died in the line of duty, but he did not expect that his parents would still be doomed in the world line after crossing. 15 years ago, a large wave of monsters and beasts broke out in Tianan province of the Kyushu Empire. The parents of this world line died unfortunately because they resisted the tide of beasts, and they became the title of martyrs. After the death of her parents, Su Shin has been adopted by her father's comrade in arms, Yang Zhengbing. The adoptive father, Yang Zhengbing, has 2 daughters. One is Yang Su, who is a few months younger than him. She is a third-year student at Los Angeles No. 1 Mage Middle School. The other daughter, Yang Ya, is only 8 years old this year, and she hasn't started her magic enlightenment yet. Brother, why are you standing at the door in a daze? While Su Shin was sorting out his identity and background in this world line, a girl's voice came from behind him. Look back, it was Yang Su, He Chengji's younger sister, the embryo of a beauty. I don't have a key. Su Shin laughed awkwardly. To be honest, he really didn't know how to feel about this cheap little sister. Before crossing over, he was fostered at a relative's house, not adopted by his father's comrades in arms. Cut. Yong-soo is not crispy at all, but a bit tough. The cheap old girl then took out the key and walked into the house. In the living room at home, Yong-soo crossed his legs carelessly, looked at Su-shin sitting beside him, and said, "Brother, how do you feel? Something is wrong today." Su-shin hesitated, then asked, "Yong-soo, can you cast a first-order fire magic?" "Huh, did you call me by my full name?" Yong-soo looked at Su-shin in disbelief, as if he knew this old man again. "Didn't you always call me Xiaozu?" Su-shin turned to look at her, he wanted to prove something. Yong-soo felt helpless. Although he couldn't figure out the situation, he still put aside distracting thoughts and began to cast a first-order fire magic. Fire magic, flame blade. I saw a cluster of flames bursting out from the cheap old girl's right hand with a bang, and the flames wrapped around a ball, forming a circle and spinning continuously. Su-shin stared at the flame blade in the old girl's hand for a while. Sudden, he picked up the flame blade in one hand, and woo, swallowed it in one gulp. "Su-shin, what are you doing?" This blow frightened Yong-soo so much that he screamed directly. Belch. But soon, Yong-soo found that his elder brother didn't say anything, and even hiccuped. The cheap sister suddenly widened her eyes, her pretty face was filled with disbelief. Really, looking at Su-shin again, his eyes are shining. When he ate his old sister's fire magic, a reminder suddenly floated in his mind. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, absorbing the magic power of the fire element. The magic value is permanently +5, the strength is permanently +5, and the defense is +10. Experience +50. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, absorbing the magic of the same element, and mastering the first-level fire magic, Flame Blade. Yes, it is true that dragon-slaying magic can consume the magic power of the same element, but it is through eating, to restore the state, or even fuse the elements, but not to grow by swallowing. However, Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptation ability can do this, and can permanently increase the mana value and strength. And because Su-shin has mastered the dragon-slaying magic of fire, he can use his adaptability to devour the magic of the same element to achieve the effect of instant mastery. And the higher the level of adaptability, the higher the conversion rate. Brother, you devour magic. Yong-soo only felt that his mage worldview was collapsing. Good sister, come one more. Su-shin continued to stare at Yong-soo. Today, this cheap little sister's wool is determined by him. Yong-soo took a deep breath. With a serious face, he said, "Tell me what's going on." Su-shin nodded, and explained solemnly. "I just discovered it recently. My body seems to be a little different. It can absorb similar elements. This secret is only known to you and me. Xiaozu, remember to help you keep it a secret, otherwise you will be arrested by the Magic Research Institute for research." After Yong-soo heard this, there is such a thing. The shock in her heart did not dissipate. Subsequently, under Su-shin's strong request, Yong-soo began to cast fire magic. She mastered 4 kinds of first-order fire magic: Flame Blade, Live Prairie Fire, Fireball, and Flame Shield. Now these 4 kinds of first-level fire magic have been prostituted by Su-shin for nothing. I am the only one in the whole world who knows dragon-slaying magic, but I am not only good at dragon slayer magic. However, it is worth mentioning that as the number of times eaten increases, the magic effect of the same quality will gradually decrease. Xiaozu, is there any more? Su-shin continued to ask without being satisfied. No, not a drop of magic power. Yong-soo shook his head straight. Her complexion was a little pale, which was obviously a manifestation of excessive consumption of magic power in her body. Brother, you are such a monster. Yong-soo took a strange look at Su-shin, saw that he was trying to force him, and immediately fled to his bedroom. Subsequently, Su-shin returned to her bedroom and began to meditate. He was right, meditation can also trigger the self-adaptive power of Dragon Slayer Mage. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is triggered, mental power is permanently +0.1, mana value is permanently +1, strength is permanently +1, defense is permanently +2, and experience value is +5. Every quarter of an hour, such a reminder will pop up. This is only the adaptive force of LV1 level. If the level is higher, maybe the improvement of Su Xin's meditation in one day is comparable to the efforts of others in a year. It is normal for the mage to meditate, so after Yang's mother came back, she didn't ask Su Xin to eat. Until the evening, Su Xin just finished his boring meditation. He let out a breath. To be honest, for Su Xin, who grew up under the influence of the modern entertainment society, sitting still and meditating is indeed a kind of torture. But the effect is very good. The adaptive force experience value of Dragon Slayer Mage has reached 161,000. After 10 hours of meditation, Su Xin's values in all aspects also increased a lot. Mental power plus 4, strength plus 40, mana plus 40, defense plus 80. Coupled with the magic power of whoring cheap girls for nothing before. Su Xin's current values are as follows. Power, 170. Defense, 350. Mana, 170. Mental power, 24. After 10 hours of meditation, Su Xin did not feel sleepy. After turning his mind for a while, he quietly left the bedroom. Night. Kara's drunken city streets are deserted. Su Xin ran wildly on the deserted streets, releasing his physical strength and running very freely. Until 3 o'clock in the middle of the night, Su Xin just stopped in front of an abandoned factory. There is no one here, and the area is relatively large, which is just right for him to use the moves of Iron Dragon Slayer magic and Fire Dragon Slayer magic. The first is Iron Dragon Slayer magic. I saw Su Xin's thoughts moved. The skin all over his body immediately turned into a steel color, and he punched forward, and the steel right arm turned into a steel pillar and swept forward in an instant. The iron fist of the fire dragon. At the same time, Su Xin once again cast the fire dragon slaying magic, and his left arm was filled with red flames, and the power of his fist set off a roaring heat wave, and he punched the ground straight. Boom, boom. The ground of the abandoned factory was blasted into a large pit in an instant, and the ground was scorched black. Seeing the power effect, Su Xin's eyes were full of joy. Very powerful. The Dragon Slayer magic directly acts on the body of the Dragon Slayer mage, and the power and magic power have reached a perfect combination. But the current Su Xin is only a low-rank mage at the first level, and the level of mana in his body is not enough, and he feels tired before he has used it twice. This made Su Xin a little speechless. He also wanted to try the profound moves of Iron Dragon Slayer magic and Fire Dragon Slayer magic, and even wanted to combine the two Dragon Slayer magics to perform some other innovative moves like Roar of the Flame Iron Dragon. After a lot of tossing, Su Xin understands that the most urgent task now is to increase his mana. In addition, the defense on the personal panel not only represents Su Xin's physical defense but also includes resilience. Tried it out. Now the mana value of 170 can be recovered in just 10 minutes. You must know that the mana value of a lower level mage is generally between 50 and 100, and the mana value required for a first order magic is only 5 to 10 points. Su Xin's real mana value is double the number on the panel, and if he gets a dragon slaying magic in the future, it will be tripled. Same. When Su Xin stimulates the resilience of the defense by depleting his own mana like Su Xin does now, it can also trigger the adaptive power of the Dragon Slayer. And the effect is much more than that of meditation. Goo. Suddenly, the feeling of hunger struck. This made Su Xin instinctively want to find a food stall for supper, but when he saw the steel bars that hadn't been removed from the factory, his eyes lit up. Base. With flames rising from his right hand, Su Xin grabbed a steel bar and wiped off the rust on it. Immediately afterwards, close your eyes and take a breath. A miraculous scene happened. After the original extremely hard steel entered the mouth, it was as soft as white milk candy and quickly melted. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated. Power is permanently plus 0.1, mana value is permanently plus 0.1, defense is permanently plus 0.5, experience value is plus 1. Adaptive force is triggered. The Iron Dragon Slayer magic corresponds to the gold element, so it can naturally restore the consumption of mana in the body by devouring steel. But this is just ordinary steel, which doesn't have any magical power at all. The ability to recover mana consumption is due to the dragon slaying magic, and the permanent increase in the value is due to the function of self-adaptive power. Although the value of ordinary steel increases slightly, it is free after all. Mosquito legs are also meat. At the moment, Su Shin no longer hesitates. He began to devour the steel bars in the abandoned factory, and when he was full, he began to consume magic power through skilled moves and then ate. Keep going back and forth repeatedly. Indeed, if you eat too much steel of the same quality, the effect of adaptive force will gradually decrease. But it can't stand the amount of steel bars in this abandoned factory. These steel bars must be taken away and reused, but for some unknown reason, they are temporarily put aside here, which is cheaper for Su Shin. There are about 20 tons of steel bars in the abandoned factory. Su Shin ate and ate, feeling like his teeth were going to be ground into shark teeth. Several hours later, as daylight approached, Su Shin swallowed the last steel bar into his belly. His current personal data has undergone extremely obvious changes overnight. Host: Su Shin. Age: 18. Level: First Order High-Ranking Mage. Power: 880. Defense: 1700. Spirit Power: 24. Magic Point: 900. Mastered Magic: Fireball, Flame Blade, Flame Shield, Liaoyuan New Fire. Except Dragon Slayer Magic. Dragon Slayer Masters Adaptive Power LV1. 851 thousandths upgrade to LV2 if you meet 1000 experience points. Talent: Magic Transformation. After eating the steel bars, the value of the blessing is very small, but the experience value of the self-adaptive force of the Dragon Slayer Mage is a fixed value, so Su Shin brushed the experience value to 850 in just one night. Once the adaptive power is upgraded, the benefits will certainly not disappoint. Another point: Su Shin is a bit weird. According to the memories he got from crossing the world line, the mana value of first-order high-ranking mages is generally around 300. He's already at 900, why does the panel show that he's still at the top of the first rank? This value is more than enough for the second-order median. Not to mention, Su Shin has double elemental mana, and his real mana is 1800. Just thinking of this, the phone rang. It was Lao Tang, the teacher in charge. Su Shin, do you want to give up participating in the simulated actual combat arranged by the school? Old Tang is a responsible teacher who came to urge Su Shin to participate in the simulated actual combat. It's almost there, Su Shin quickly replied. Then go to school right away. Los Angeles Mage No. 2 Middle School, Actual Combat Simulation Room. Su Shin arrived late, and the classmates had already started simulating actual combat. It happened to be the turn of classmate Zhang San. His opponent is a first-rank high-ranking monster, Zunian Beast. This Zunian Beast is 5 meters in size, looks like a leopard wolf, and has a pair of powerful hind legs. In terms of speed, it is considered to be the best among first-order monsters. Zunian Beast is wearing a magic armor. Once it is hit by the magic of the students, it will trigger the armor defense. There is no way. Zunian Beast is known as a model worker monster that simulates actual combat, and it is meant to be used repeatedly. And the students here, naturally, defensive measures were also taken. That is to stand in the magic circle prepared in advance. As long as you don't get out of the magic circle, you will definitely not be hurt by the swift cloud beast. Seeing that Su Shin's complexion changed a bit, Old Tang, the teacher in charge, explained thoughtfully. No matter how powerful the magic is, if it can't hit the target, it won't help. Today's simulated actual combat will test everyone's magic hit rate and magic casting speed. It turns out that the students have been taught. Su Shin nodded heavily. There is a certain death rate in the unified examination of masters, but the students who often die are not because of bad luck, but because of overestimation. The actual combat unified examination will accurately divide the area, the first-tier Warcraft area, the second-tier Warcraft area, and the third-tier Warcraft area. As long as you stay in the first-order monster area, it is absolutely impossible to reach the second-order monster. Squad leader, what do you think? Su Shin turned her head and asked Liang Yun next to her. Liang Yun blushed suddenly, and she reacted like this when being approached by a boy. It seemed that she was really a shy girl. What am I looking at? Liang Yun was confused by Su Shin's question. Zhang San, you see that he has cast the first order earth-type magic, ground spike 3 times, but he failed to hit the swift cloud beast. How many times do you think he was able to hit it? Liang Yun replied as thinly as a mosquito. The swift cloud beast has a very fast reaction speed. Su Shin felt that her answer was a bit wrong, so she said to herself, I think the reaction speed of this monster is just like that. Finally, when our classmate Zhang San was about to run out of magic power, he finally hit the Zunian beast once by chance, triggering the latter's magic armor defense. Okay, Su Shin, it's your turn. The head teacher Lao Tang silently took note of Zhang San's performance, and then signaled Su Shin to come forward. Su Shin responded, and then strode into the magic circle. Fire magic, flame blade. I saw Su Shin flipped his right hand, and a cluster of flaming round blades appeared in his palm immediately. What a fast casting speed. When the students saw this, their expressions changed slightly. Su Shin was the last one to play. Compared with other students, the speed of casting magic was amazing. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, calmed down. I wonder if I have made a mistake in my evaluation of Su Shin, a student. I lost it. Look at Su Shin again. He grabbed the flame blade and threw it towards the swift cloud beast in front of him. Whoosh! The flame blade brought a wave of heat and attacked the swift cloud beast. But Zunian beast is worthy of being the one that is good at speed among the first order monsters, and it managed to dodge it at a critical moment. It doesn't matter. Su Shin once again condensed a flame blade and threw it out for the second time. But, empty. The third time, it was empty again. The fourth time, it was still empty. Su Shin, what are you doing? Why do you have to be so far away from the swift cloud beast? The effective distance space of the magic circle needs to be utilized. Also, predict the position. Zhang San couldn't stand it anymore, and reminded him aloud. Hitting the swift cloud beast head-on is very difficult. But casting magic with a predictive nature is not so difficult. Su Shin is the former, with a personality that insists on being tough. Su Shin, what's going on? The fire is so fierce, why are you stretching your hips? With the cub species, the students squeezed their throats and joked in the crowd, which caused a burst of laughter from other students. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, looked a little dignified. Flame Blade is a high-ranking fire-type magic. After casting it 4 times in a row, Su Shin didn't see any signs of mana consumption, which made him feel a little weird. Su Shin looked back, his eyes swept across the students. Zhang San handed over cheering eyes, while the other students looked smiling. On the other hand, Liang Yun didn't dare to meet Su Shin's gaze, and lowered her head shyly. Liang Yun is a good girl, she must have stopped looking at me to avoid embarrassment, she is so sweet. When I thought about what I said just now in front of squad leader Liang Yun, the reaction speed of Zunian Beast was just like that. Su Shin is a bit over the top. Looking at the Zunian Beast in front of him again, he found that this beast was showing a bit of playfulness in a humane way. Gone. Su Shin was furious, he condensed the flame blade again, but this time he didn't throw it. I saw Su Shin running directly out of the range of the magic circle, approaching the Zunian beast holding a flame blade like a humanoid monster. The speed was so fast that a group of onlookers exclaimed in surprise. You don't want to die, Su Shin. But at the same time, the students were quite frightened by this bold scene. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, was about to come to the rescue. Except for very few types of monsters, it is extremely difficult to tame, and this swift cloud beast is no exception. As predicted, seeing Su Shin walk out of the range of the magic circle, Zunian beast changed its normal routine. Instead of avoiding it, it took the initiative to bully and attack Su Shin. Give me down. Su Shin's left fist was rolling with a fire fist, and he punched the approaching Zunian beast's head. Boom! The deafening sound of boxing suddenly resounded. The Zunian beast wailed, and was knocked down by Su Shin just like that. Immediately afterwards, Su Shin picked up the flame blade on his right hand, and slashed at the head of Zunian beast, as if he wanted to stuff it into the opponent's mouth. Getting close to a monster. Is this what a mage should do? I'm confused, does he want to put magic into the mouth of the monster? The students stared together, feeling that their views on using magic were being subverted. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, took a deep breath, his eyes gleaming. Su Shin, by no means the lower average of all his students. A moment later, Su Shin exited the arena, and the Zunian beast in the arena was still lying on the ground trembling. It seemed that the beast was scared out of its wits. Su Shin, you too fierce. Zhang San came to Su Xin with a shocked expression. Happy. Su Xin has a cheerful expression. This is the fighting style of the Dragon Slayer Mage. What kind of magic Bububu's long-range kite, it's like cursing with girls. Seeing his classmates staring at him with monster eyes, Su Xin originally wanted to explain a few sentences, but after thinking about it carefully, there was no need for that at all. He doesn't intend to pretend to be a pig and eat a tiger, nor will he deliberately show off in front of others, just let nature take its course. Su Xin, your performance is very good. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, took a deep look at Su Xin. As the master examination was approaching, he actually didn't have much time to get to know this student. Old Tang straightened his face and continued. I have another piece of news to tell you today. I just sent a notice this morning. This year, the unified examination for mages in Tianan province will start 1 week earlier, which means that we only have 1 week to prepare for the unified examination. When the students heard the news, they immediately felt a little nervous. There is no second exam for the unified examination of mages. If you fail to pass the exam this year, you will not be eligible to take it again next year. Getting admitted to a good mage university is absolutely crucial to the future of a mage. It can be said that this is the first big opportunity in the life of the low-level mage carp jumping over the Dragon's Gate. The area for the actual combat assessment of the unified examination for mages in Tianan province remains unchanged. It is located in Tianan Forest as in previous years. According to incomplete statistics, there will be at least 200,000 mage students participating in the unified examination in Tianan province this year. The most important thing in the actual combat assessment is to kill monsters to obtain monster cores, but the number of monsters in the assessment area is far lower than the number of candidates. That is to say, if you want to get grades, you may have to conflict with other candidates and compete for them. The monster cores on them. In addition, the actual combat assessment lasts for 1 week. You can bring low-level magic power recovery potions into the exam room, but it does not include potions and magic protective gear that temporarily increase strength. Old Tang began to talk cliched to the students about some rules and content of the actual combat assessment of the unified examination of mages. Su Xin listened quite seriously. This is indeed a must-know knowledge for him as a time traveler. Soon, it was almost dusk. After a day of simulated actual combat training, Su Xin hurried home, ready to meditate, and wanted to improve the level of self-adaptive ability as soon as possible. Cauldron. As soon as he entered the house, a little boy rushed over and hugged Su Xin's legs. Looking down, it was a little loli with twin ponytails. It was Yang Ya, the adoptive father's second daughter. It has to be said that the genes of the adoptive father Yang Zhengbing's family are very strong, and the two sisters are born beauties. Yang Ya, carrot hash. He smiled and picked up the little loli. Xiaoya, is she being good today? Take advantage of the opportunity to tease the little sister of Lori. Well, Xiaoya is so good. The little Lolita replied in a cute and naive way, very clingy to Su Xin. I heard that this year's master examination will be brought forward. In the living room, a beautiful woman glanced at Su Xin and said a word. Auntie, Su Xin called out with a smile. This is the adoptive father's wife, Yan Lan. She was also a well-known beauty in Shili Bashong back then. How should I put it? In my memory, my aunt gave Su Xin a lot of flabbergasted faces and said some mean things, but in fact she was a sharp-mouthed bean curd. Generally speaking, in Su Xin's impression, she is still a kind aunt. Your Uncle Yang will be on duty recently and won't be back soon. My aunt complained to herself. The adoptive father is a 4th-rank sergeant major of the Los Angeles City Guards. It can be understood that he is a resident officer in the army and rarely has time to go home. He asked me to buy an element spar for you in Shaozu. Really, the most common element spar costs 100,000 yuan. If you buy 2 at a time, Yang Zhengbing is just as rich as he is. Su Xin listened, immediately understood why my aunt had a little temper today. It turned out that she was going to make a fortune. It's okay, auntie, you can just buy it for Shaozu. Su Xin retreated sensibly. You should have said this sooner. Now that you have bought everything back, can you return it? The aunt gave Su Xin a blank look, and then pointed to the hardcover gift box on the table in the living room. Mom, stop pretending. Why are you always making faces for brother? Yang Su, who was sitting in the living room, said something impatiently. Girl, white-eyed wolf, turn your elbows outward. After hearing this, my aunt got angry and wanted to hit her eldest daughter. Thank you, Auntie. I will definitely get a good grade in the exam, and I will be filial to Auntie and Uncle Yang in the future. Su Shin is not a goose. My aunt has already talked about this, so I don't know where to express my opinion. As predicted, after my aunt heard this, her complexion improved a little. It's good if you have this heart. After all. Then I went to the kitchen to cook. Su Shin sat next to Yang Su, winking at the cheap old girl. The latter's complexion changed immediately, and he quickly said to Death, No. The unified exam is about to come, I have to prepare well, and I can't waste time eating magic for you. Su Shin shook his head. Said, That's not it. The unified examination is divided into two types, the essay test and the actual combat assessment. I'm a little unsure about the essay test. Xiaozu, you can help my brother with a surprise tutoring. When Yang Su heard it, it was possible. So, after dinner, the two brothers and sisters gathered in the living room and began to review the knowledge of the essay test. Just half an hour later, Su Shin stopped suddenly. Grandpa gave up. What about him, and this kind of essay test? There are no multiple choice questions, all answer questions. Su Shin knows some common sense about magic, but the knowledge points in the essay test are definitely not common sense. The full score is 100 points, and there are not even bonus points. Instead of wasting time cramming, it is better to focus on improving the various values. Correct. Element spar. Only then did Su Shin remember her aunt's gift. He and Yang Su are both fire mages, so the two element spars are both fire element spars. Element spar is an item that contains magic power. It allows mages to absorb the magic power very easily, but the improvement will vary from person to person. Therefore, this element spar is generally only affordable by mages with rich family backgrounds. Not to mention some high-level magical potions that can directly increase the upper limit of the magic value, the price is often hundreds of thousands or even millions. With anticipation in my heart, Su Shin immediately took the element spar into his bedroom. He can't wait to see how much improvement an element spar can bring him. In the bedroom, Su Shin opened the hardcover gift box, revealing the fiery red crystal block inside. The crystal block is only the size of a thumb, but one can clearly feel the relatively surging magic power of the fire element from it. The method for mages to use element spar is very simple. That is to put it in the palm of your hand for meditation, and to absorb the magic power of the elements in the spar through meditation. But Su Shin's situation is special. He is the only Dragon Slayer mage in this world. If he wants to absorb the elemental power corresponding to the Dragon Slayer magic he has mastered, he can just eat it directly. Ah woo, the elemental spar worth 100,000 yuan just got bored. The moment he swallowed it, a hot current surged through his whole body. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated. Power is permanently plus 100, defense is permanently plus 200, mana is permanently plus 300, and experience is plus 200. At the same time, a reminder floated in Su Shin's mind. Before Su Shin could respond, the system beeped again. Ding! Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power has been upgraded to LV2 50 10,000ths permanent power plus 100, permanent defense plus 200, permanent magic power plus 200, and permanent spiritual power plus 20. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the second talent, hard work. Talent. Hardened. When the host receives damage, this talent will be triggered, and the defense value will be permanently increased according to the degree of damage. Hiss. Su Shin has not yet had time to get away from the improvement of various values, but this second talent, hard work, makes him gasp involuntarily. Is this true that even being beaten can become stronger? Take another look at the various value panels. Level. Second tier lower mage. Power. 1080. Defense. 2100. Spirit power. 44. Magic point. 1400. Except for the slow progress of mental power improvement, all other values have reached an extremely impressive level. Su Shin feels itchy not to experience the newly acquired talent. So, Su Shin sneaked into the bedroom of his younger sister Yang Su. Yang Su, who was meditating, suddenly widened his eyes, looked at Su Shin with a look of horror, and shouted, Su Shin. What are you doing? Why are you reacting so badly? What can I do? Su Shin was confused by the cheap old girl's reaction. You sneaked into my room in the middle of the night, if you let your parents know. Yang Su's meaning is no longer clear. Good guy, I'm direct good guy. Although it is a cheap sister, how can a big brother miss his sister? You're thinking wrong, I need your help with something, come to the community park quickly, brother is waiting for you. After Su Shin left a sentence, he rushed to the community park downstairs. Yang Su was dubious, but still couldn't bear curiosity and followed. Community park. The cheap old girl Yang Su put her arms around her chest and said angrily, tell me, what is it? Su Shin immediately turned serious, and said seriously, brother's body has undergone some changes again, and it seems to be able to defend against magic attacks. You cast magic to attack me head on. What does that mean? Yang Su was still confused. It's you who cast magic on me, and I don't use any defense, just use my body to resist. You're crazy. Don't you know how weak a mage's body is compared to magic attacks? I'm too lazy to mess around with you. I'm going back to meditate. Yang Su rolled his eyes, thinking that his elder brother was playing tricks. Su Shin hurriedly called her to stop. After some coaxing, Yang Su finally agreed to try it with the lowest level of fireball. But there is a prerequisite, that is, Su Shin must cast the magic shield. It can be seen that although she has a carefree personality, she is by no means a reckless person. She can try, but she must take protective measures. Su Shin agreed, but after Yang Su cast the fireball on him, Su Shin immediately cancelled the flame shield and let the fireball hit him. Elder brother. This frightened Yang Su, and he screamed directly. Brother is fine. Su Shin laughed out loud. Really? With his current defense value, the power of first-order magic is useless in front of him. Withstood a magical attack. Not only did it trigger the self-adaptive power, but it also triggered the hard work, defense plus 100. How about it? I didn't lie to you, did I? Su Shin patted his upper body and raised his eyebrows at Yang Su. But the latter has red eyes at this time, and looks like he is about to cry. The cheap old girl didn't even think about why Su Shin was able to resist magic physically at the moment, she just kept fearing that Su Shin's upper body would be melted by a fireball just now. Xiaozu, continue. Go on, you big-headed ghost. Yang Su yelled in tears, then ran back without looking back. Su Shin. After reacting, Su Shin felt a little warm in his heart. The cheap old girl didn't show an expression of extreme shock as she expected, but a kind of concern. This made Su Shin make up his mind. In the unified examination of mages, you must become a blockbuster, and then one person will lead the whole family to ascend to heaven. No one at night. No one knew about the little episode between the siblings, and Su Shin began to exercise self-abuse afterwards. But gave up after trying. Because beating yourself can't trigger the talent of tempering and tempering. After tossing and tossing for a long time, Su Shin returned to the bedroom and began to meditate. Now the adaptive force has been raised to LV2 level. The improvement brought by meditation has also improved a lot compared to level 1. Wait, my brother really resisted the power of the fireball technique with only his body. Only then did Yang Su realize this when he returned to the bedroom. How is this possible? Yang Su began to think wildly. Because this scene overturned the mage's worldview too much, Yang Su had to think about it. It can be said that her knowledge area and associations are naturally limited, so she can't think of anything. Until tired of thinking. Only then did I start to abandon distracting thoughts and start meditating. The unified examination for mages is imminent, and it is very important for every mage student, and Yang Su is no exception. The next day, Su Shin did not go to school for simulated actual combat. Because the self-adaptive force is now level LV2, the effect of meditation for a quarter of an hour has doubled compared to before. Let's not say that all 24 hours a day are used for meditation, but 12 hours is definitely possible. Then the benefits of these 12 hours are Spirit plus 9.6, Strength plus 9.6, Mana plus 9.6, Defense plus 192, Experience plus 240. That is to say, the improvement of the strength of meditation is greater than that of simulated actual combat, so it is clear at a glance which one to choose. The teacher in charge, Old Tang, didn't say anything, but just asked Su Shin to prepare for the master examination. Doing boring meditation for 12 hours a day is indeed torture. But once you enter the state, the passage of time is a little less obvious. Soon, a week flies by. Su Shin, who was retreating for the first time, walked out of the bedroom with a radiant face. Host: Su Shin. Age: 18. Level: Tier 2 Median Mage. Strength: 1752. Defense: 3444. Mental Power: 111.2. Magic Point: 2070. Mastered Magic: Fireball, Flame Blade, Flame Shield, Liaoyuan New Fire. Except Dragon Slayer Magic. Dragon Slayer Mage's Adaptive Power LV2, 1750 10,000ths. Talent: Magic Conversion, Hard Work. His current personal numerical panel is absolutely extremely luxurious compared to other mage students. This gave him great confidence to be a blockbuster in this year's master examination. Big Pot, come on duck. In the living room, younger sister Xiaoya waved her little powder fist at Su Shin, cheering her on. Su Shin played with the little girl and then went out. The actual combat examination room for the unified examination of mages in the Tianan region of the Kyushu Empire is located in Tianan Forest. The overall area of Tianan Forest is 6,000 square kilometers. The examination area is divided into 3 areas, corresponding to Tier 1 monsters, Tier 2 monsters, and Tier 3 monsters. To put it simply, the main purpose of the actual combat assessment is to hunt and kill monsters, with the monster core as the result. However, the entrance to the examination room is divided into many places. The reason why the cheap old girl Yang Su didn't wait for Su Shin was that she and Su Shin had different entrances to the examination room. Su Shin came to the school. In general, masters like the unified examination for mage, not to mention the rich rent a helicopter to go to the examination room, but those with a little wealth basically go there by themselves. But Su Shin is different. He had no money, so he planned to take the school's special car to the entrance of the examination room No. 13. Let Su Shin unexpected scene happen. He actually wants to feint the vehicle. During the half-day journey, Su Shin was limp, lying on the parking space like a dead fish. It's here. Finally, the special car stopped near the entrance of the number 13 examination room in Tianan Forest. Student, it's time for the exam, are you too nervous? The old driver of the special car had noticed Su Shin a long time ago. No, he kindly came over to ask about it. Fine. Su Shin's face was dark, and the feeling of nausea did not subside for a while. He made up his mind that he must master flying magic in the future. Immediately afterwards, Su Shin got off the car. When he looked up, his expression suddenly changed. I saw a long queue at the entrance of the examination room ahead, and the young mage students were all excited. Su Shin was a little excited. To him, the master examination is undoubtedly his first step towards the center stage of this wonderful world. After waiting in line for more than an hour, it was finally Su Shin's turn. Hold this watch, the red dot on it shows the area of the examination room you are in. If you are only a first-level mage, I advise you not to go to the area where the second-level monsters are. In addition, this is an accidental death waiver agreement, sign it now. At the same time, I would like to remind you a few points. Before the annual unified examination, the number of monsters in the examination room will be cleared, which means that it is impossible for every candidate to have enough monsters to hunt. If you really can't find monsters, then you can snatch the magical beasts owned by other candidates, but remember not to kill people intentionally, otherwise you will not be able to bear the consequences. In addition, the actual combat assessment period is 1 week, during which you can choose to form a team with other candidates. But remember, once you form a team, you can't snatch other people's monster cores. Finally, regarding the points, as usual, the beast core of a Tier 1 monster is worth 10 points, a Tier 2 monster is worth 50 points, and a Tier 3 monster is worth 300 points. The person in charge of the entrance of the examination room emphasized several rules that need to be paid attention to when Su Shin signed. As for the rules, Su Shin naturally knew about them a long time ago, and he didn't have any objections at the moment. After signing, the person in charge checked that Su Xin was not carrying any space magic equipment or prohibited items in the exam, and then let him enter the exam area. After entering the examination area, Su Xin first played with the watch instrument. In addition to the map function on this watch, it will also remind you that the exam time is about to end. In addition, it also has a help function. But once the help function is used, it means voluntarily giving up the unified examination of mages, and all results will be invalidated. Su Xin is carrying a backpack. There are some low-level mana recovery potions, as well as some food and clean water. Looking at the watch, the area of the examination room is divided into rings. The outermost ring is the First Order Warcraft area, which has the largest area and accounts for half of it. Followed by the Second Order Warcraft area. Finally, there is the Tier 3 World of Warcraft area. There are 10 green dots clearly marked in the Third Tier Warcraft area, and these green dots represent the location of the Third Tier Warcraft. Tier 3 Warcraft has a high score. But in fact, candidates who can kill Tier 3 monsters in the Mage examination will not care about their scores. In other words, the Tier 3 Warcraft area is specially used to screen geniuses and mediocrities. There is no shortage of geniuses to recruit from the Imperial Mage University. Su Xin just thought about it for a while, and then he took a quick step and ran towards the third-level monster area. If he chooses to keep a low profile, then Su Xin will not take the master examination. Can participate, then get the best grades. There are different grades for the students of Master University. There is a huge difference between the treatment of students at the highest level and the lowest level. The actual combat assessment of the unified examination for mages in the Tianan region has officially begun. Now, in a certain underground base, there are hundreds of large screens in the underground hall of Nuo Da. The picture on the screen is constantly changing, obviously from the monitoring equipment in the examination room. The examiners sat in the underground hall talking and laughing. A total of 10 examiners. They are members of the Tianan District branch of the Imperial Mages Association, and tutors from the Tianan Academy, the strongest institution in the Tianan region. This year seems to be a bit worth seeing. After all, there are several special recruits participating in the actual combat assessment. An examiner spoke, looking for a topic. He is Zhao Yang, a tutor from Tianan Academy, a 6th-rank high-ranking mage. The so-called special recruitment refers to the special admissions conducted by the 9 Masters Universities of the Empire beyond the results of the Masters examination. Candidates who want to reach the special recruitment level generally have to reach the level of a third-tier mage at the age of 18 at the minimum. There are even more exaggerated dual-line or even multi-line mages, as well as rare non-element special line mages. Universities other than the 9 master universities conduct special recruitment, and the standard cannot meet the 3 words of special recruitment. For special admissions, there is really no need to take the master examination. Oh, that's really something to look forward to. It won't be long before those special recruits will appear in the Tier 3 Warcraft area. Another examiner from the Mage Association took the words with a smile on his face. The other examiners also started to speak. For a while, the atmosphere among the examiners seemed harmonious. Stop screen number 3 for a moment. At this time, an examiner suddenly gave an order. The other examiners saw. The expressions are all expressions of understanding. ... A corner of the Second Order Warcraft area. Thunder magic. Sky lightning strike. A young girl was covered in thunder and lightning. With a light finger of her jade hand, a bunch of thunder and lightning as thick as a bucket fell from the sky and landed directly on the head of a second-level monster. The second-tier monster let out a miserable howl, and was instantly killed. The girl had her ponytail tied up, tall and slender, with a pretty face and a stern face, quite heroic. She turned out to be a relatively rare thunder mage among elemental mages, and judging from the fact that she killed a second-order monster in one move, her level is probably at the upper level of the second level, and maybe even the lower level of the third level. Come out. Zhang Yue didn't rush to get the Warcraft Beast Core, but sneered at the rear right side. At the moment, a handsome young man slowly walked out from behind a certain big tree. It was Su Xin. He was on his way to the third-tier Warcraft area, but he didn't expect to encounter this scene by chance on the way. Thunder mages are very rare, which is one of the reasons Su Xin stopped to watch. Zhang Yue turned around, looked at Su Shin with displeasure, and said softly, "You've been sneaking around for a long time, could it be that you want to snatch the core of a monster?" Su Shin was taken aback. This girl's character is a bit strong, no wonder it's because of the affinity of the thunder element. Like my cheap old sister Yongsu, who has a friendly fire element, so her personality is also a bit hot. That's right, since this classmate has made it clear, then I don't have to pretend to be a gentleman anymore. I do have an idea about the second-order monster core. Su Shin admitted it very generously. It was originally an act that was allowed by the rules, and Su Shin would not let it go. And Su Shin wants to try, that is, whether he can directly absorb the magic power contained in the core of Warcraft through the method of swallowing. He has been running to the third-order Warcraft area, and he has not encountered any Warcraft along the way. Very good. I, Zhang Yue, dare to peek at the spoils of war. I can't say I will give you a little trouble today. Just as Zhang Yue finished speaking, with a flick of her fingers, her magic is cast at a terrifyingly fast speed, almost instantaneous. In an instant, a cluster of lightning appeared in the forest, turning into a beam of lightning and blasting towards Su Shin. Boom! Thunderbolt! The lightning arc was as fast as a shock, and it hit Su Shin's abdomen in an instant, and the lightning arc splashed from all over his body like fireworks. Thud thud! I saw Su Shin trembling all over, as if convulsed by the electric shock, even his hair was standing on end. Cool! Zhang Yue snorted softly, and when she was about to turn around, she suddenly saw Su Shin's face full of emotion. Look at Su Shin again. What the other party cast was only the first-order lightning magic, not to mention the damage, it was simply an electrotherapy massage, the whole body was shocked, and it was extremely refreshing. Zhang Yue's beautiful eyes could not help shrinking slightly, looking very surprised. Su Shin rolled his eyes, and immediately grinned, revealing a mouthful of white teeth. Come on, continue, let me see how capable the Thunder Mage is. Adertisement. He hooked his fingers at Zhang Yue provocatively. With Zhang Yue's temper, how can she stand this kind of provocation? It is not an exaggeration to say that it is the speed of light and blood rage. You asked for it. She gritted her teeth, and immediately rushed towards Su Shin without saying a word. Lightning magic, lightning armor. In an instant, Zhang Yue's whole body was crisscrossed with lightning arcs, weaving a thunder armor. Wearing the thunder armor, Zhang Yue's various physical abilities have been greatly strengthened. She bullied towards Su Shin bravely, she really had the posture of a melee mage. Su Shin was a little surprised. From just now to now, none of the lightning spells cast by this girl have been repeated. In the underground base, where did the reckless kid come from? So brave, it looks like he's going to be beaten up. The young daughter of the patriarch of the Zhang family in Tianan City's sorcerer family, it is said that the affinity for lightning has reached more than 90, and she is an out-and-out mage genius. She seems to be only 17 years old this year, and she will definitely be at the special enrollment level in another year. Wait, just now this kid easily resisted Zhang Yue's lightning magic. The examiners stared at screen number 3, talking about each other. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, strength is permanently +5, mana value is permanently +5, defense is permanently +10, and experience value is +20. Thousands of tempering talent activated, defense +200, lightning resistance +10. 2 reminders quickly floated through Su Shin's mind. Originally, he couldn't trigger his self-adaptive ability when he was beaten, but after being gifted, after hard work, there was a joint reaction and it became possible to trigger it. In addition, Su Shin asked the system with some doubts. System, what does this lightning resistance mean? Answer the host. The next time the host obtains dragon-slaying magic, it will give priority to the type with the highest resistance. Su Shin's eyes brightened. I see. In this way, can I properly control the type of dragon-slaying magic? The reason why the fire magic of old sister Yongsu did not increase the fire resistance is also very simple. Su Shin has mastered the fire dragon-slaying magic, so the fire resistance is naturally max. Zhang Yue's pretty face was full of evil. The other party was able to resist her own move with ease, so she naturally understood that the young man in front of her was not a mediocre person, but now when facing her, her eyes wandered and her mind wandered off. Su Shin's actions completely angered Zhang Yue's self-esteem. Zhang Yue, who is wearing the thunder and lightning armor, under the blessing of the power of the thunder element, her body's various abilities have soared in a short period of time. Her speed was like a cheetah, dodging around like a cheetah, and before Su Shin could react, she had already approached Su Shin. Thunder Surge Fist. Zhang Yue punched Su Shin directly in the abdomen. She still complied with the unified examination rules that no intentional homicide was allowed, and she did not aim at a deadly position. Boom, boom, a deafening thunderclap suddenly exploded. Su Shin's waist arched slightly, and a crack opened under the ground under his feet. Obviously, the power of this punch should not be underestimated. Of course, it's just not to be underestimated. Su Shin is not a masochist either. Iron Dragon Slayer magic. He didn't want to feel the pain, so he snorted softly. His whole body was filled with a layer of steel color, and his skin turned into a body of steel. The premise of standing up and letting others beat you is that the other party will not hurt you, and you can keep your experience and defense value for nothing. Student, didn't you eat before taking the unified exam? Su Shin looked at Zhang Yue, who was stunned, and urged her to increase her strength. Gold-type defensive magic. Zhang Yue is worthy of being a genius of a family of mages. She has analyzed Su Shin's steel body in a short time. The girl with the ponytail raised her eyebrows immediately. Obviously she didn't intend to hold back anything. Thunder magic. Sky lightning strike. Thunderbolt. Boom. A cluster of lightning beams as thick as a bucket descended from the sky in an instant, striking Su Shin directly. Well, Su Shin let out a muffled snort, and when the thunder was scattered all over his body, he stood in place, still not moving an inch. What's the matter with this boy? Even if you are good at defensive magic, it is impossible to ignore Zhang Yue's magic attack like this. It's a little surprising. Thunder magic has the strongest attack power in the same level as elemental magic. Dark horse. This boy is a dark horse. Wait, does he have a character flaw? Why is he standing still and being beaten? Is he showing off? At the same time, the examiners watching this scene in the underground base all showed astonished expressions. Over the years, it is not uncommon for dark horses to appear in the unified examination of mages. But Su Shin's behavior of standing still and being beaten was really incomprehensible to the examiners. After all, defensive magic consumes more mana than attack magic of the same level. However, soon, these examiners seemed to understand why Su Shin did this. Because, have nothing to fear. Back to Su Shin and Zhang Yue. Although Zhang Yue is a second-level high-ranking mage, she has a lot of magic, which fully shows the background of the big family and her own talent. It's a pity that Su Shin didn't master the Thunder Dragon Slayer magic, otherwise the thunder magic she mastered would become her own. Bang bang bang, boom boom boom. Su Shin stood in place, like a majestic and immovable mountain. No matter how Zhang Yue used all her means, she couldn't hurt her in the slightest. At the beginning, Zhang Yue wanted to teach Su Shin a lesson, and even took care not to accidentally injure Su Shin's life. But now, her goal seems to have become to make Su Shin move. With a bang, another thunder magic hit Su Shin. Su Shin frowned. The girl's magic power seemed to be drained by him. Be stronger. I tell you to be stronger. He suddenly yelled at Zhang Yue. Zhang Yue gritted her teeth, feeling an unprecedented aggrieved feeling in her heart. She seemed to be a girl with a strong personality, but at this moment her eyes were full of aggrieved tears. But she still had a hard head, and she didn't give up just yet, and continued to attack. Okay, it's a waste of time to continue. But Su Shin lost the interest to continue. The girl's magic power was almost exhausted, and hitting him now was like scratching an itch with a little pink fist, with little effect. I saw Su Shin raised his right palm and slapped Zhang Yue directly on the right shoulder. The latter took off on the spot, rotated several 360 degrees in midair, and landed heavily on the ground. Zhang Yue screamed in pain, tilted her head, and fell into a coma. Su Shin stepped forward to check and found that he was just unconscious, so he was relieved. His strength is indeed a little stronger. He actually likes this girl quite a bit. After all, this moment of Kung Fu has created a gain of plus 1500 defense power for him. Underground foundations. Examiner Zhao Yang silently walked aside and picked up a tablet. He quickly found the candidate Su Shin's information on it. Fire. Isn't it gold? Zhao Yang suddenly discovered something, and there was a touch of shock in his eyes. This is a candidate named Su Shin from the number 2 Mage Middle School in Los Angeles. He is a dual-line mage. Look at the other examiners. Most of them looked at each other in blank dismay. Although it was seen through the screen, Su Shin's behavior of standing still and letting others hit him still left a deep impression on them. But the headache is, from the beginning to the end, only the last slap of Su Shin was an active attack, and the examiners could not accurately judge his true strength. Beside the unconscious Zhang Yue, Su Shin pondered for a while. Without checking her backpack, she simply took it away. This is not enough. He even wanted to search Zhang Yue's body to see if he could find some magic power recovery potions and the like. However, just as he was about to stretch out his salty pig's hand, a voice suddenly sounded from the side without warning. Candidate Su Shin, stop your next move. Candidate Zhang Yue has been judged to have failed the actual combat assessment. Special personnel will come to deal with the follow-up. Su Shin's expression froze. Looking along the sound, it turned out to be a flying camera, which looked like an eyeball with wings, and the sound came from the camera. Su Shin is not a fool either, thinking that the scene of fighting between herself and Zhang Yue should be fully seen by the examiners. Okay, without talking nonsense, after secretly remembering this point, Su Shin walked to the corpse of the second-order monster, and took out the monster core from the latter's body. This is the second-order monster, rock and soil beast, and the core of the monster is the magic power of the earth element. Because of the camera, Su Shin did not try to swallow it in a hurry. He continued to run towards the third-order Warcraft area. When encountering a natural tree hole along the way, he resolutely drilled in and devoured the core of the rock and soil beast, while avoiding the camera. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, strength is permanently plus 50, mana value is permanently plus 50, defense plus 100, experience value plus 80. Effective. But because Su Shin himself did not master the dragon-slaying magic for the earth element, the effect was greatly reduced compared with the previous swallowing of the fire element spar. This is still a Tier 2 Warcraft beast core. If it was a Tier 1 core, the effect would definitely be worse. As long as it is effective, this time the unified examination will take 7 days, why not use these beast cores to reach the level of a third-order mage? Su Shin quickly made a decision. Stop and go. It wasn't until the next day that Su Shin came to the third-tier Warcraft area. Glancing at the watch in his hand, he found that the nearest green dot representing a Tier 3 monster was not far away from him. The energy came immediately. In the blink of an eye, it took another hour or so. The red and green dots on the watch that represent your position completely overlap each other. When monsters reach the third level and upwards, they basically develop a relatively strong sense of territory. When they are not threatened by the outside world, they generally will not leave their territory. So it's easy to find a Tier 3 Warcraft, the hard part is whether you have the ability to hunt him down. At this very moment, the Tier 3 Warcraft that appeared in front of Su Shin was a giant power bear. The giant bear is about 6 meters high, like a small mountain standing in front of you. It looked at the human beings that suddenly appeared in front of it, and the anger in its captivating beast eyes soared, and it gradually became brutal. This time, Su Shin did not choose to stand and let the giant bear attack to increase the defense value. There is no time limit for a talent that has been honed through hard work, and when the opportunity arises in the future, it will completely make Su Shin vomit. In addition, because of the camera, Su Shin didn't want to act too much. The performance here is not to hide one's own strength, but to not show special performances such as devouring magic, so as not to make interested people think about it. Before becoming a real strong man, it is necessary to keep some vigilance in mind. So, I saw Su Shin took a deep breath, her abdomen swelled high. The roar of the fire dragon. Facing the bullying attack of the giant bear, Su Shin opened his mouth and sprayed, and a cluster of unimaginably hot flame beams spewed out. The head melted into black ash in an instant. One move, instantly kill the Tier 3 Warcraft giant power bear. This trick is really powerful enough to consume magic power. Fortunately, I can convert the gold element magic power in my body into fire element magic power. Su Shin looked as usual. His real mana value is double that on the panel, which means that the talent of magic power conversion can double the magic power of gold element or fire element in an instant, and it can burst out instantly under the premise that the mana value on the surface is not enough. A powerful move of Dragon Slayer magic. As for the Dragon Slayer profound truth, that obviously doesn't need to be used to deal with tier 3 monsters. Su Shin. Just as he was about to step forward to strip the beast, someone from behind exclaimed. Su Shin looked back. Then I saw a girl in a long blue dress standing timidly on the spot, with incredible shock written all over her delicate and pretty face. The girl's beautiful eyes widened. She seemed to be still immersed in the shock of Su Shin's move just now. Seeing Su Shin walking towards her slowly at this moment, he didn't react at all. Squad leader, why did you come here? Su Shin stepped forward to say hello. This delicate girl is none other than class monitor Liang Yun. I'm here to find a tier 3 warcraft. Liang Yun dodged her eyes and did not dare to look directly at Su Shin. She was very shy. Somehow, seeing the girl's appearance, Su Shin inexplicably thought of Hinata. Looking for a tier 3 warcraft. Su Shin was a little surprised, and then a little emotional. It seems that the squad leader is already a third-order mage. It's really amazing. Liang Yun lowered her head and replied as thin as a mosquito. Your move just now is powerful. Su Shin slapped a haha upon hearing this. Haha, I just broke through recently. He didn't bother to cover up anything, but there was no need to explain. The two were silent for a while. Su Shin finally couldn't bear it anymore. He asked, Squad leader, why are you so shy when talking to me? No, I'm not shy. When Liang Yun heard this, a blush spread from her face to her ears. Su Shin. Well, I see. The girl is so shy that it is difficult to have a normal conversation. Afterwards, Su Shin took the giant bear's beast core and waved goodbye to Liang Yun. Until Su Shin completely out of sight, Liang Yun exhaled heavily, and her shame gradually faded away. She looked at the dead giant bear lying on the ground. Su Shin, so strong. Is this his true strength? But why did he hide his strength before? The girl was both emotional and a little puzzled. Chapter 11. Liang Yun has not left yet. A young man walks here like a walk in the court. I felt a strong wave of magic power. This giant bear. Did you kill it? The young man had long hair, and when he was talking, his long hair was quite chic without the wind. No. Liang Yun looked at the young man and replied seriously. This time, he was not so shy. She recognized the boy's identity. The genius of the Chen family in Tianan City, Chen Xiaoyun. As for Liang Yun, she was not born as a commoner. Her father made great contributions to the 15-year siege of monsters and was made a viscount by the empire. She was considered an upstart family in Los Angeles. Yes, the Kyushu Empire is an imperial system, and there are nobles and nobles. It's just that the viscount family is nothing in Tianan province. Liang Yun followed her father to attend a party held by a nobleman in Tianan City. At that time, she met many young people in Tianan City, and Chen Xiaoyun was among them. Chen Xiaoyun stared at Liang Yun for a while, then asked. You look familiar. Liang Yun was a little hesitant when she heard the words, but she explained briefly. Oh, it turns out that Viscount Liang's beloved daughter. Chen Xiaoyun nodded after hearing this, and seemed to lose interest. The class division of the Kyushu Empire is very serious. You can't feel it, it's because you are not qualified to feel it yet. A genius from a big family, although he seems to be polite to the son of a viscount in a small place like Liang Yun, actually reveals an innate arrogance invisibly. Why did you take the unified examination? Liang Yun was silent for a while, but couldn't help asking. It's just to pass the time. In addition, not all mage geniuses in Tianan province are concentrated in the noble families. In the unified examination, some dark horse geniuses will appear over the years. If I can meet them, I can win one or two in advance. Chen Xiaoyun regarded Liang Yun as a high-ranking person, but he still regarded Liang Yun as an aristocrat, so he replied. His words are true. Geniuses of aristocratic families rarely have a truly playful personality. If you come to Tianan Academy, you can apply to join the school's Fengyun Club, and I can decide to let you join the club. After Chen Xiaoyun said one more sentence, he left in a hurry. The teaching method of the 9 great master universities in the empire is completely different from that of ordinary master universities. Basically, there is no tutor, but a community system. Create a club and assign one or even several consultant teachers. Behind some associations, there is often the support of the dignitaries of the family, and there is no shortage of financial resources and resources. Fengyun Club is one of the top 5 clubs of Tian'an University, and there are many talents in it. After an hour, Chen Xiaoyun came to a swamp again, looked at the corpse of the third-order monster, marsh crocodile, and couldn't help but fell into deep thought. It's still the fluctuation of the magic power of the fire element. It should be the same person who killed Julibert. This made Chen Xiaoyun a little confused. The opponent's target is obvious, and it is a third-order monster. Being able to kill a Tier 3 warcraft so easily shows that it is definitely at the level of special enrollment. He thought about it carefully. Among the geniuses in the same circle he knew, there seemed to be no such boring guy. It seems to be a little more serious. Chen Xiaoyun groaned softly, and saw a whirring sound behind him, and a gust of wind turned into a pair of wind wings and appeared behind him. Whoosh! Chen Xiaoyun took off on the spot, looking for that person, with bright eyes high in the sky. Half an hour later, finally found the monster of fire element. In a valley, Su Xin peeled off the abdomen of Fire Cloud Ape, and took out a third-tier beast core, with a hint of joy on his face. The effect of a Tier 3 Warcraft beast core of the same attribute should be higher than that of Fire Element Spar. However, just when there was a swallowing movement, Su Xin turned his head to look at the top of his head. Chen Xiaoyun landed slowly, his handsome face was full of surprise. He didn't know the young man in front of him, obviously he wasn't from their Tian'an City Mage Genius Circle. Your Excellency looks very unfamiliar, didn't you ask for advice? Su Xin was a little speechless about Chen Xiaoyun's angry appearance. Su Xin. However, there was nothing wrong with the tone of the other party, so Su Xin replied. Su Xin, have you killed 3 third-tier monsters in a row? Are you experimenting with new magic moves? Or do you simply like hunting monsters, or are you just interested in the cores of third-tier monsters? Chen Xiaoyun's question hit the nail on the head, but his superior attitude made Su Xin frown. Who is this forcing? Su Xin said. Boring. Su Xin didn't bother to pay attention to this person. There are only 10 Tier 3 monsters in total, so he has to hurry up and continue hunting. At that moment, Su Xin put away the beast core and walked in the other direction. However, without taking a few steps, Chen Xiaoyun stood in front of Su Xin. He does have the idea of recruiting dark horse talents. But his solicitation is not persuasion by words, but conquest by force. Su Xin couldn't recognize who he was, which made Chen Xiaoyun sure that the former was definitely not an imperial aristocrat. Can recruit, that's right, but as a family of mages, the pride of the Earl noble family will not allow Chen Xiaoyun to solicit words like a corporal. I want to compete with you. Chen Xiaoyun looked at Su Xin, and smiled softly. Look, how did Chen Xiaoyun get into a fight with Su Xin? This Chen Xiaoyun is not a quiet character, I guess he is just looking for fun in the unified examination. Zhang Yue is only 17 years old after all, but this Chen Xiaoyun is a genius of a big family, a proper talent level for special recruitment. Hey, old Zhao, where are you going? At the same time, the examiners in the underground base all stared at a screen and became lively. The flying camera didn't follow Su Xin all the time, but he has been following Chen Xiaoyun. And Zhao Yang, the 6th rank mage Zhao Yang, the instructor of Tian'an Academy, left the underground base voluntarily after seeing this scene, apparently planning to watch it up close. After all, it is difficult to accurately judge the strength of candidates only through the screen. Some examiners knew what Zhao Yang meant, but they didn't follow. Su Xin looked at Chen Xiaoyun. After a while, he said in a deep voice, finding fault. Chen Xiaoyun laughed softly when he heard the words, and replied, the sparring between mages is normal, and you will often meet them if you enter the 9 major mage schools. As for me, Chen Xiaoyun. He paused, there are not many peers in Tian'an province that I am interested in taking the initiative to learn from. The implication is that he thinks highly of Su Xin when he seeks advice from Su Xin. Su Xin understood that this guy made him feel that something was wrong. There was nothing wrong with the other party's words. After all, He came from a big family and was not bad at all in terms of etiquette. It's just that this superior attitude was really cultivated in a favorable environment since childhood. Does he really have a lot of nonsense? Su Shin frowned. In an instant, the whole body was covered with a layer of steel color, and the momentum was as majestic as a mountain. More at the same time. With a bang, Su Shin's fists burst out with hot flames enveloping his fists. A dual-line mage. Chen Xiaoyun's eyes lit up immediately. The other party really gave him quite a surprise. Boom, boom. I saw Su Shin's legs exerted force suddenly, and a large flat hole exploded in the ground under his feet instantly. His figure turned into a long rainbow and launched like a cannonball. Chen Xiaoyun's eyes suddenly shrank. An extremely strong sense of oppression hits directly. He was very surprised. He never thought that Su Shin would use such a close-up attack method. Wind wall technique. It has to be said that Chen Xiaoyun's reaction speed is not weak, and his magic casting speed is even better. With a wave of his right arm, a transparent wind wall is seen in front of him. However, Su Shin turned a blind eye and rushed straight into the wind wall. Crush me. Su Shin let out a low cry, and threw out both left and right fists. Iron Fist of the Fire Dragon. Iron Dragon's Iron Fist. Boom, boom. Two sonic booms exploded in response to the situation, and the extremely powerful wind wall technique was instantly exploded by the fist into a wave of air that surged around. Wind element magic, air blade storm. Looking at Su Shin, who had already come in front of him, Chen Xiaoyun didn't show a panicked look. Obviously he had quite a lot of actual combat experience by his side. The magic power of the wind element on his body surged wildly. Swish, swish, swish. In an instant, dozens of arm-sized transparent wind blades condensed out, gathered together and turned into a storm of air blades, attacking Su Shin madly. At the same time, Chen Xiaoyun wants to make full use of his advantages as a wind mage, and with the wind wings behind him, he will fly high into the sky to distance Su Shin. There is no martial arts in this world. Chen Xiaoyun's approach is the correct way for mages in this world to fight, keeping a distance and then attacking with magic. Look at Su Shin again. He didn't want to spend any defense value this time, he just wanted to beat up the cub in front of him. Iron Dragon Sword. Su Shin's right arm instantly turned into a steel sword blade, and he slashed forward, and the extremely turbulent air blade storm was chopped into scattered wind, and its power disappeared. At this time, Chen Xiaoyun had already flown into the sky. The broken teeth of the fire dragon. Su Shin raised his head suddenly, his right hand bent into a claw. Hot flames shot out from all over his body, the flames turned into dragon claws, and he grabbed Chen Xiaoyun. This man. Chen Xiaoyun was still in the shock of his chi blade storm being broken. As soon as he realized it, he felt a pain in his waist and was grabbed by the flame dragon's claws. Come down. Su Shin snarled and pulled Chen Xiaoyun to the ground. With a bang, a large hole suddenly exploded in the ground. Su Shin strode forward, raised his right foot, stomped towards Chen Xiaoyun, who was lying in the pit. His fighting style is simply brutal to the extreme. Where does it look like a mage? Just a mindless fool. Boom, boom, boom. One foot after another stomped behind Chen Xiaoyun, the latter's body trembled from the kick, and blood continued to flow from his mouth. Chen Xiaoyun vomited blood while looking at Su Shin in disbelief. He was beaten and confused. Being subjected to such crushing tyranny, Chen Xiaoyun completely lost his mind. There are not no mages who are close, such as Zhang Yuwei, who rely on the power of the thunder element to temporarily increase the physical ability. But Su Shin is completely different. But what is the difference? Not to mention Chen Xiaoyun, even the examiners who saw this scene through the camera at this moment are also dumbfounded. I do not know how long it has been. A heavy voice sounded behind Su Shin. I know you have no intention of killing him, but if you continue to kick him like this, he will be kicked into a useless person. Look back. It was Zhao Yang, the 6th Order mage tutor from Tian'an University. Su Shin glanced at Chen Xiaoyun, who was unconscious and had broken several bones, and stopped kicking. He looked at Zhao Yang, silently waiting for the other party to report himself. I'm the tutor of Tian'an Academy. You can call me Mr. Zhao. This kid is called Chen Xiaoyun. He comes from the Chen family, a family of mages in Tian'an City. He is a genius mage. He should be a middle-ranked mage of the 3rd rank. What? Is this trash a genius? Su Shin was extremely surprised when he heard this. Zhao Yang was stunned on the spot. Chen Xiaoyun is trash. He continued. Your magic is very special, but what is so special, I can't tell for a while. What I am more curious now is, did you use all your strength when you defeated Chen Xiaoyun? Also, why is a genius like you who has reached the special enrollment level kept silent? Seeing that Su Shin remained silent, Zhao Yang wisely did not continue. He also realized that the question he asked was a bit too much. He took out a business card from his pocket and handed it to Su Shin, and said with a smile, after the UEC is over, you can contact me. No, please be sure to contact me, Student Su. After all, then he picked up the unconscious Chen Xiaoyun and was about to leave. Teacher Zhao, wait a minute. Su Shin hurriedly called him to stop. Zhao Yang turned his head, showing doubts. Please leave this guy's backpack. Oh, okay. Zhao Yang let out a laugh, dropped his backpack, and disappeared into the valley in an instant. Soon after, Zhao Yang returned to the underground base again. Zhao Yang, you were there at the time, how did you feel? The examiners asked impatiently. Very strong, very strong. Chen Xiaoyun is not his opponent at all. If it is a life and death battle, I think Chen Xiaoyun will be instantly killed by Su Shin. Zhao Yang looked very serious. Unlike other examiners watching through the camera, he was present. After finishing speaking, Zhao Yang looked a little dazed. Is it his illusion? Su Shin, a third-tier mage, could actually give him a sixth-tier mage's heart palpitations when he made a move. He doesn't know yet. At this time, Su Shin was only in the second rank upper rank. The appearance of Zhao Yang did not disturb Su Shin's own rhythm. He wanted to rely on the third-tier magic beast core to hit the third-tier mage level. As soon as Zhao Yang left, he immediately rushed to the location of another third-tier monster. But this time, because of Chen Xiaoyun, the fourth third-tier monster has been hunted down. It may be other special recruit geniuses, or it may be a team of second-level high-ranking mage candidates to hunt and kill. Su Shin guessed it was the latter. After all, there are still many kinds of magic power overflowing beside the corpse of the fourth third-tier monster. Su Shin paused for a moment. Immediately afterwards, he stomped on both feet, and his figure bombarded forward like a cannonball, obviously running with all his strength. The fifth third-tier warcraft is still alive. With Su Shin's current strength, it is so easy to hunt and kill the third-order monsters in the examination room, and it doesn't even take a minute before and after. As soon as this side was over, he immediately rushed towards the location of the sixth third-tier monster. Back and forth, after several hours, all the 10 third-tier monsters marked on the watch were hunted down. 8 of them died at the hands of Su Shin, and the other 2 were hunted down by other candidates. 8 Tier 3 Warcraft Beast Cores, converted into points, that is 2,400 points. But obviously, there are already tutors from Tian'an University who have come to him on their own initiative, so for Su Shin, the score is irrelevant. Su Shin wanted to devour the third-tier Warcraft Beast Core and absorb the magic power from it. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, strength is permanently plus 100, mana value is permanently plus 200, defense value is plus 200, experience is plus 200. The first is the Giant Bear Monster Core. This beast core contains the magic power of the earth element, but because it is a third-order level, the effect is not weaker than the element spar worth 100,000. Dragon Slayer Mage's self-adaptive power is activated, strength is permanently plus 500, mana value is permanently plus 500, defense value is plus 800, experience is plus 500. Su Shin then, eat the Fire Elemental Ape Beast Core with the magical power of the fire element, and the effect was really unexpected, with a value increase of more than 500. Over the next period of time, Su Shin hid in a natural tree hole, slowly consuming the magic power in the third-level Warcraft core. I don't know how long it has been. A reminder suddenly sounded in Su Shin's mind. Ding! Congratulations to the host for getting the Dragon Slayer magic package again, do you want to open it now? Hearing the prompt, Su Shin's eyes lit up. He looked at his personal panel again. Host: Su Shin. Age: 18. Level: Tier 3 Lower Mage. Strength: 3,400. Defense: 8,100. Spirit Power: 120. Mana Value: 4,150. Mastered Magic. Fireball, Flame Blade, Flame Shield, Liao Yuan New Fire. Except Dragon Slayer Magic. Dragon Slayer Mage's Adaptive Power LV2, 3550 10,000ths. Talent. Magic Conversion, Hard Work. Except for the mental power value, the other values have nearly doubled. Open. Su Xin didn't hesitate, and immediately opened the Dragon Slaying Magic package. Ding! Congratulations to the host for obtaining the Lightning Dragon Slayer Magic. In an instant, Su Xin only felt that various moves of Thunder Dragon Slayer Magic were imprinted in his mind. At the same time, his real mana value is not 4150x2, but 4150x3. There are 9 levels of mages, and every third level is a watershed. According to Su Xin's understanding of mages, a mage with a mana value of 4000 is already a 4th tier mage. The comparison between the 4th tier mage and the 3rd tier mage is the earliest watershed. The difference is that the magic power in the body is no longer scattered, but gathered together. The true level of my magic power is already over 10,000, but it is still only the lower level of the 3rd level. Although somewhat puzzled, but Su Xin felt that this was more to his liking. At the same level, it was a good thing that his level was far superior to other mages. Zzz. At the moment, Su Xin walked out of the tree hole. At this time, he discovered how the previous Zhang Yue discovered him. Thunder mages have very keen perception and can perceive the biological current within a certain range nearby. Like now, although the flying camera has the function of optical invisibility, Su Xin was keenly aware of the flow of its current and was able to accurately locate it. It is right to enter the tree hole and devour the core of Warcraft. The flying camera has been following him. Su Xin was a little displeased. From the beginning to the end, he had no intention of pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger. Why pretend to be weak if he has strength and a whole card? It should be noted that the secrets of the system are not exposed. Su Xin doesn't care that others see him cast the dragon-slaying magic, but it doesn't mean he doesn't care about being watched every move like this. So, then I saw that Su Xin's right arm turned into an iron rod, which stretched like rubber and broke the optically invisible flying camera. Done this, only then did he leisurely leave this position and head towards the 2nd tier Warcraft area. Mosquito legs are also meat. Although the strength is stronger, the improvement of the 2nd level Warcraft beast core will be greatly reduced, but it is still somewhat improved. Su Xin knows that he has not fully developed his momentum yet, so he will not let go of any opportunity to become stronger. In addition, at this time, Su Xin's heart itch was unbearable. Dragon Slayer magic is not separate and unconnected. With the combination of the 2 dragon-slaying magics, moves such as Lei Yanlong's roar can be performed, and new dragon-slaying secrets can also be produced. What about 3, or even the next 4, 5 or even more? These moves are not given by the system for free. Su Xin needs to constantly explore and create them. But now is the period of the unified examination. Otherwise, Su Xin really wanted to find a secluded place to test the combined power of various dragon-slaying magics. A corner of the 2nd Order Warcraft area. 3 examinees are surrounding a 2nd-level magical beast, Green Coyote. The person in the middle pressed his palms on the ground, and the ground was covered with thorns. The thorns were so strong that they had bound the 2nd Order monster. Hu Chao, a wood mage, hurriedly urged his companions, "Quick!" Another water mage immediately responded. Immediately, he raised his hands high and shouted, "Water element magic water arrow rain." Shish! In an instant, dozens of sharp water arrows pierced the sky, bombarding the 2nd Order monsters like a storm. In a moment, the ground bush wolf howled and fell down. The beast core this time is mine according to the distribution. The water mage candidate showed joy, took out the monster core, and put it in the backpack behind his back. The other 2 companions had no objection either. They are all 2nd tier low rank mages, and the efficiency of hunting 2nd tier monsters alone is too low, so it is necessary to improve efficiency by forming a team. Mages are all about teamwork. This is also the reason why team actions are allowed in the actual combat assessment. Of course, once you form a team, you can't snatch other people's Warcraft cores, because this is unfair competition. Rumble. At this moment, the ground suddenly shook violently, and the roar of beasts came from the front. Not good. Someone triggered the beast tide. Don't panic. Although there are beast tides in the second-tier Warcraft area, there are also defensive measures. The three of them looked at each other and immediately noticed something. In fact, the beast swarm in the examination room area was far from the scale of the beast swarm. At most, dozens or hundreds of monsters gathered together, and they would disperse soon. The real tide of beasts is hundreds of thousands or millions of monsters. There will be no small-scale beast hordes in the First Order Warcraft area and the Third Order Warcraft area. Therefore, a special defensive magic circle will be set up in the area of the second-level monsters. Once encountering such a small-scale beast swarm, they can enter the defensive magic circle to avoid it. At the same time, you can also choose not to enter the magic circle. Being able to effectively avoid the beast tide is a manifestation of ability. In the number 3 defensive magic circle of the second-tier Warcraft area, it can accommodate hundreds of people at a time. When Hu Chao's trio came here, they were already full, so they had to go to other magic circles. The examinees in the defensive magic circle didn't see any panic on their faces, but chatted lively. How is it? How did you gain? How many second-tier monsters have you hunted? 2. Okay. This is only the 3rd day. Do you want to form a team? No, I still think it's better to be alone. Among the more than 100 candidates, there is Yongsu, a hot girl. However, she chose to form a team, and she teamed up with 2 classmates from the same school, a man and a woman. One mastered wood-type control magic, the other mastered earth-type defensive magic, and combined with her fire-type attack magic, it was a good idea. Full complementarity. I don't know how my brother is doing now. Yongsu lowered his head, a little concerned about his elder brother's situation in the examination room. The two did not enter the same examination room. The area of the examination room is thousands of square kilometers, and there is not much population density if only hundreds of thousands of candidates gather together. Coupled with the complex terrain, it is difficult to meet each other. Candidates discussed leisurely, but suddenly I heard a certain boy shout loudly. Students, look here, from now on, I'm going to snatch the Warcraft core from your hands. Hearing this, the candidates all showed expressions of extreme astonishment. They all turned their heads and saw Su Xin grinning at them. Everyone was amused at once. Elder brother, Yongsu's whole body is not well. This arrogant guy who clamored to rob 100 candidates of Warcraft Beast Core, turned out to be his brother. Yongsu, what's wrong with you? Companion Zhou Zhaowan couldn't help asking. He is my brother. Yongsu covered his face and tapped his toes in embarrassment. He's the big brother you've been talking about. Your brother has a pretty, special personality. Zhou Zhaowan wanted to laugh, but she held back. What are you crazy about? Come in quickly, don't attract the attention of the beast hordes outside. After all, he was his elder brother. Although Yongsu blushed with embarrassment, he still yelled at Su Xin. Follow the sound. Su Xin met Yongsu's eyes immediately. He could see that his cheap little sister was blushing like a monkey's butt at the moment. This. Robbed on the head of my old sister. Yes, Su Xin didn't want to hunt the second-level monsters by himself. He thought that the candidates brushing the monster core would be faster if he brushed the candidates. As for the beast tide, Su Xin came out from the rear, but there was no warning in this regard. Before he had time to say a few words to Yongsu, I saw the ground under my feet rumbling and shaking, and a black tide of beasts in front of me was rushing towards me like a tide. Tier 2 Warcraft Beast Tide. The number is about 100. It's Earthquake Rhinoceros. Yongsu, quickly bring your brother in. Companion Zhou Zhaowan was startled. This ground-moving rhinoceros is not strong in destructive power among second-tier monsters, but its defensive power is exaggerated. Now that more than 100 of them are gathered together, if there is no defensive magic circle, more than 100 candidates can be trampled to death in an instant. Without waiting for Zhou Zhaowan to remind me, this girl Yongsu had already walked out of the magic circle on her own initiative. When she came to Su Xin, she punched the latter directly, and then forced him to walk towards the magic circle. The examinees in the magic circle saw this scene and just watched silently. After all, this person clamored to snatch their monster cores, so they naturally didn't have any good feelings at all. Brother, don't be silly. Seeing that Su Xin couldn't be pulled, and the latter looked at a group of second-level monsters with eager eyes. Yang Su panicked. Let's go. Su Shin is not talking nonsense. He picked up his old sister and threw it towards the range of the magic circle. Magic conversion. At the same time, the magic power of thunder element and fire element in Su Shin's body is rapidly converting into gold element. Dragon Slayer Mystery Iron Sword. I saw Su Shin's hands clapped together suddenly, and immediately pulled, a steel sword condensed out. The steel sword grew bigger and bigger until it was tens of meters long. Cut. Su Shin picked up the iron sword and slashed at the beast tied in front of him. In an instant, an extremely astonishing slashing blade shot out, like a fleeting meteor in the dark night, cutting nearly 100 second-level monsters in front of them with a single encounter. The world became clean. One move, wipe out. This is the power of the Dragon Slayer Profound Truth. It's just one kind of Dragon Slayer Profound Truth. If all three Dragon Slayer Profound Truths come out together, the power. What kind of magic is this? 40-meter broadsword. This candidate is too strong. That's hundreds of tier 2 monsters, one move in seconds. Isn't he a tier 4 mage? The examinees in the magic circle were shocked beyond measure when they saw this scene. Younger sister Yang Su was dumbfounded. Oh my god. My brother, is this so powerful? The move of Dragon Slayer Profound Art has no grades, and its power depends on how much magic power Su Shin uses. Just now, about 6,000 of Su Shin's mana was used. But now it seems that if you reduce the mana value by 1 or 2,000, the effect should not be much worse. Who the hell is he? After a while of silence in the magic circle, someone whispered something. This time, Yang Su was no longer shy, but straightened her small chest, and said loudly, "He is my brother, Su Shin." Swish swish swish. As soon as the voice fell, the eyes of more than 100 candidates fell on Yang Su. Wait, Xiaozu, didn't you say that your brother is a fire mage just like you? Zhou Zhaowan suddenly discovered something. Dual line mage. Before Yang Su could reply, he yelled something. His words were full of envy. At this time, Su Shin was not in a hurry to collect the beast cores, but walked towards the examinees, and said with a smile, "Students, if you don't want to be beaten severely, you can obediently hand over the monster beast cores on your body." He said the harshest words in the most relaxed tone. The examinees were indeed frightened by Su Shin's exaggerated strength, but they didn't panic because Su Shin wanted to rob them. A tall boy stood up immediately and said, "Student Su, your strength has far surpassed ours. You, a genius who should be recommended to the 9 Masters University of the Empire, robbed us. Naturally, we are powerless to resist, but even if we are willing to hand over the Warcraft core, I want to take charge of the unified examination. The examiners will not agree, because the strength is not equal, it is very unfair." Su Shin was taken aback when he heard the words. Is this kid praising me or threatening me? For a while, I was awkward in place. If it is in the Warcraft forest outside the Empire's borders, then naturally there are no rules at all. But this is an examination room, and there are examiners monitoring it, so what the other party said really makes sense. As predicted, after a while, the familiar Zhao Yang showed up again. He looked at Su Shin, although his expression was calm, but deep in his eyes was the shock that he couldn't hide. He was right. Su Shin didn't try his best to defeat Chen Xiaoyun before. Zhao Yang looked at Su Shin and said, "He is right, Su Shin, you can leave the examination room early." I still want to. Of course Su Shin refused. Give other people a chance. The results of the unified examination are important to their future. If you keep hunting down the second-level monsters and snatching the monster cores of other candidates, you will make many candidates get 0 points and will not be able to become a mage. Universities. Zhao Yang's next words blocked Su Shin's subsequent words. What about these Warcraft beast cores? Su Shin looked at the corpse of the monster behind him with some reluctance. According to the market price, I personally bought one for 4,000 yuan. Zhao Yang was stunned for a moment, but continued. In fact, this is against the rules, and the core of Warcraft cannot be taken away. However, Su Shin's value is worth Zhao Yang's own money to sell him a favor. Warcraft cores can be used to make magic protective gear, magic potions, etc., but the price is much lower than natural element spars. The general price of second-order Warcraft cores is 3,000, approximately 5,000 yuan per piece. Only for Tier 4 and above Warcraft cores, the price began to climb exponentially. Then thank you Teacher Zhao. Xiaozu, I still have some magic potions in this backpack, you can take them and use them. Su Shin said. In front of everyone, he collected 10 Quake Rhinoceros cores and put them in his backpack before throwing them to Yang Su. Seeing this act of public cheating, the examinees were quite speechless for a while. It can be seen that Zhao Yang, the examiner, acquiesced to this move, and naturally the others didn't have much to say. When leaving, Zhao Yang made a phone call gesture to Su Shin, signaling the latter not to forget to contact him. The actual combat assessment of the Mage Unified Examination, which was thought to be very exciting, ended in a dramatic way. Several hours later, at the entrance of the Tianan Forest examination room, Su Shin stood there, a little dazed. How did he go back to Los Angeles? Su Shin just thought of this. Seeing a black off-road vehicle parked in front of him, the homeroom teacher Old Tang couldn't wait to get out of the car. Good boy. It doesn't matter that you are a dual-line mage, but you can actually defeat a special recruit like Chen Xiaoyun, and you can even kill hundreds of second-order monsters in one move. Sure enough, the teacher is right, you are the best student of the teacher. Quick, don't be dazed, get in the car. Su Shin opened his mouth, but finally got into the car without saying anything. Another few hours of driving. The off-road vehicle stopped at the gate of Los Angeles Second Master Middle School. At this very moment, there was a crowd of people outside the entrance of the study, all of them were workers from the news media. Come here, Su Shin is here. Su Shin just got out of the car. I saw a group of media workers pointing their cameras at them one after another, some of them went too far, as if they wanted to put the microphone in Su Shin's mouth. Teacher, is this? What scene has Su Shin not seen? Cross out. I have never seen this scene before. Student Su Shin. On campus, the principal led a group of tutors to push aside the media workers and came to Su Shin. The old principal held Su Shin's right hand with both hands very enthusiastically, pulled him and smiled at the media workers. Everyone, this is the dual-line mage of my Los Angeles Mage No. 2 High School, the genius Su Shin. In the actual combat assessment, he not only defeated the special recruit geniuses of the same level, but also stepped forward when hundreds of candidates were facing the danger of the beast horde. He took the lead and killed more than 100 second-level monsters with one move. Because the performance was so exaggerated that the examiners in charge of the unified examination agreed that Su Shin could end the examination early. After all, the old headmaster pointed his eyes at a mentor next to him. The other party immediately took out a large check with 3 million in cash, written on it. On behalf of Los Angeles Masters No. 2 Middle School, I would like to commend Su Shin and give him a cash reward and support of 3 million yuan. I wish Su Shin greater success in his career as a master in the future. In addition, this is not special. As long as you are a student enrolled in my Master No. 2 Middle School, all those who perform well will receive strong support from the school. The school shares weal and woe with you. Ka ka ka. The cameras danced wildly, and the shots clicked. Student Su Shin, do you have anything to say about this? A media worker immediately handed the microphone to Su Shin. Su Shin was stunned. Okay him. The magic is unfolding, but the news spread really fast. Student Su Shin, a media worker urged. Only then did Su Shin speak. He said, let's go. When you are in power, you will feel that the world is gorgeous and exciting. The benefits of showing talent come early. Su Shin's genius performance made the principal of Master No. 2 High School resolutely choose to invest. 3 million is not much for a mage high school, but it can make a genius who may become a future great mage gain favor, and it is absolutely worth it in terms of the worldview of this world. Su Shin was also happy to accept the principal's kindness. After all, a wealth of 3 million is not too small for him now. It's just that the scene of dealing with the media and taking advantage of the opportunity to advertise the Second Master Middle School in Los Angeles gave Su Shin a bit of a headache. I, Su Shin, can achieve what I am today, except for my little bit of talent, it is all due to the vigorous cultivation of the school teachers and the principal. Although Su Shin's fights are reckless, he is not stupid, and he doesn't know how to say good things about officials when he gets the benefits. Student Sue is humble. We have always noticed your efforts. The principal laughed from ear to ear. Su Shin is so good at it that he doesn't need to rehearse in advance. The two sing together. It took more than an hour before the temporary press conference came to an end. Afterwards, under the strong request of the principal, Su Shin had a dinner with the school seniors. The next morning, Su Shin just returned to her community. Before I went upstairs, the aunts who were exercising downstairs surrounded me. Oh, boy Sue, I heard that you are a genius mage. I heard that you killed thousands of monsters by yourself, it's amazing. I watched the news yesterday. You were on TV. You are so handsome. It would be great if my kid was as good as you. My girl has always been secretly in love with you, but she's too thin-skinned to say so. Unable to bear the enthusiastic inquiries of the aunts, Su Shin returned home as if fleeing. Living room at home. Aunt Yan Lan stood a little cautiously, while there were many people sitting on the sofa in the living room. You don't need to be so polite, Aunt Yang, just sit, you can just sit, don't stand. A young man with gold-rimmed glasses who looked like a gentle beast pushed his glasses tactically and spoke to Yan Lan. It's okay, no problem. Aunt quickly shook her head. She hasn't recovered yet. It's fine that my adopted son was on TV yesterday, but so many people came to visit early this morning. And they are all people from Tianan City. Auntie, I'm back. Su Shin pushed the door open and entered, holding the 3 million check in his hand. His face was full of joy. He was going to give 1 million to his aunt, and the remaining 2 million would be used to buy element spars to improve various values. Hi, Su Shin, my name is Jin Shire, a 4th-year student at Tianan University. Student Su, I, Jung Ming, please don't forgive me for disturbing Student Su so rashly this time. Student Su, I am. There are a total of 7 people in the living room plus a little loli about 10 years old. Seeing Su Shin appear, the 7 of them reported their families respectively. After hearing this, Su Shin generally understood. These 7 people are all from Tianan University, some are students and some are not, but they all represent the community in Tianan University to invite Su Shin to join in advance. Obviously, in their opinion, Su Shin is definitely going to go to Tianan University. In fact, Su Shin thought the same way. If he wasn't planning to go to Tianan University, then he wouldn't accept Zhao Yang's kindness. Of the 9 wizard universities in the empire, except for the Imperial University, which ranks first, the other 8 are not much different. The entrance requirements of Imperial University are extremely strict, and most of them are children of aristocratic families. In addition to the need for talent, their identity background is also being assessed. Behind the associations of Tianan University, there are often powerful forces and mage families with related interests. For example, the Fengyun Society, where Chen Xiaoyun belongs, is ranked 4th in Tianan University, and the power standing behind it is Tianan's #1 potion company jointly controlled by the 3 major families. The conditions put forward by the 7 people are all similar. Obviously they are not going to vicious competition, and the choice will be given to Su Shin. You are Xiao Xingxin, I like you very much. The little girl sitting next to Jin 12 jumped up suddenly, and Su Shin only felt a flash in front of his eyes, and the little girl climbed onto his shoulders, playing with Su Shin's hair with her delicate hands. Su Shin was stunned at first. He didn't even react. Moreover, he thought that this little loli was played by his younger sister Yang Ya's elementary school classmates. Ahem, Mr. Gu, restrain yourself. Jin 12 coughed a few times and looked at little loli helplessly. I don't, little Lolita muttered, looking disobedient. What's the meaning? Su Shin looked at the future senior Jin 12. She is Gu Mengmang, the consultant teacher of our alchemy club. Because of the magic she masters, she has always maintained the appearance and inner appearance of a child. But, teacher Gu is very strong. Alchemist, I think he is a copper smelting club. Legal Lolita are all out. Wait, no. Su Shin suddenly realized something. Generally, this kind of existence, in fantasy novels, means that they have cultivated the skills with the word, reincarnation. In this age of mages, it is difficult to maintain the appearance of a child. It's time magic. Thinking of this, Su Shin turned her head to look at the legal loli Gu Mengmang, and suddenly felt that this cute little loli, who was as cute as a porcelain doll, suddenly became tall and noble. Although the Alchemy Club has the fewest members in Tian'an University, it has the strongest comprehensive strength. We are committed to the creation of magic, and behind the Alchemy Club is the Empire's third institute of magic. Student Su Shin's move to instantly kill nearly 100 monsters in the examination room is a gold-type magic move created by Su himself, right? So, please be sure to join the Alchemy Club. Jin 12 straightened his face, and his tone was very solemn. Get this little guy down first. Su Shin pointed to Ji Yu Mengmeng on her shoulder. He always felt that it was just Lolita who was trying to figure out his details. Hee, Xiao Xingxin is amazing. Ji Yu Mengmeng smiled. Then gently jumped off Su Shin's shoulder. What can I get by joining the Alchemy Society? Su Shin then asked Jin 12. Jin 12 pushed the gold-rimmed glasses and replied. You can learn alchemy magic and sword magic for free. Free, that's right, the 9 major mage universities in the Empire are all point-based, and they have their own point-based platforms. Alchemy magic and sword magic need at least 10,000 points to get started on the platform. Let's put it this way, the schools prohibit students from privately trading points, but sometimes I turn a blind eye and close my eyes. In private, 1 point equals 10,000 × 15,000 yuan. Jin 12 cleverly uses money to describe the value of alchemy magic and sword magic. Here are the benefits of the community. If you don't want to join the club, then if you want to learn these powerful magics, you will consume hundreds of millions of wealth, which student can stand it. But joining an association means relative freedom, not absolute freedom. It is difficult for a poor family to produce a noble son. After giving birth to a noble son, he will eventually assimilate with the upper class and become one of them. Outside the Tianyun community, a black limousine started slowly. Teacher Ji Yu, what do you think of Su Shin? Did he create his own magic moves? In the car, Jin 12 looked at the little loli beside him and asked softly. Xiao Xingxin is very special. The little loli Ji Yu Mengmeng's eyes turned into crescent moons when she smiled. She was really cute. It seems really special to be able to make teacher Ji Yu so intimate. Jin 12 replied with something pointed, and then stopped talking. Su Shin has not yet decided which club to choose. He is not waiting for a price, but is planning to learn about the club system in Tian'an University after entering Tian'an University, and then make a choice. Living room at home. Su Shin's face was pensive. Others could say that they were just mages with a higher level than him, but they were just like the lowly Ji Yu Mengmeng, but they couldn't describe their senses. Xiaoshin, Auntie is going to buy vegetables now, what do you want to eat? The aunt blinked, and suddenly she didn't know how to face her adopted son. Flatter it, but it seems to be divided. But if it's the same as usual, it's inappropriate. After all, Su Shin is now a genius favored by a mage university like Tian'an University. Auntie, I want to eat braised pork ribs. Su Shin didn't think so much, and asked for lunch very readily. Okay, Auntie will go buy it now. In the next few days, Su Shin spent 2 million to buy 20 pieces of fire element spar, mainly because fire element spar is more common, so the price is cheaper than other elements. As Su Shin expected, as one's own strength improved, the effect of the elemental crystals that had been eaten before began to decrease. But after all, it didn't decrease much. The 20 elemental crystals provided Su Shin with 1500 plus strength, 2000 plus magic points, 3000 plus defense points and 3000 plus experience points. The money is gone. Su Shin is practicing meditation at home honestly. The value of mental strength is too far behind, so he needs to make up for it appropriately. Mental strength represents Su Shin's willpower, and willpower is related to performance in battle, so it is naturally very important. This day, younger sister Yang Su pushed open the door with a radiant face. Mom, I've been appointed internally by Tian'an University, and I don't need to take the essay test anymore. Xiaoya, where's brother? After entering the living room, Yang Su realized that only the little sister Yang Ya was playing in the living room. The cauldron is practicing. When I grow up, I want to be as powerful as the cauldron. There are many people looking for the cauldron in the past few days. I heard from my mother that those people are big men that even my father can't afford to mess with. Oh. Hearing his sister's words, Yang Su was thoughtful. Then, the fiery sister pushed open the door of Su Shin's bedroom. Brother, I have something to tell you. Students from Los Angeles know. 1 middle school and no. 2 middle school will hold a party tonight, and the participants are all students appointed by Tian'an University. Su Shin opened his eyes from meditation and asked, what about no? 3 middle school. The number 3 middle school doesn't have a single designated student. The number 1 and no. 2 middle schools include you and me, so there are only 18 people in total. Hee, my classmates from no. 1 middle school invited you to participate by name, saying that they want to get to know you, a great genius. Su Shin nodded. Then go, anyway, brother has been too busy recently to panic. It just happened to be able to hear about the situation of the alchemy club from other people's mouths, so why not do it? Okay, that's it. After Yang Su finished speaking, she went back to her bedroom and began to carefully choose clothes. It can be seen that she is in a good mood. Night. Los Angeles Hotel. Yang Su took Su Shin's arm and walked into the luxury box together under the leadership of the service staff. Tonight's student party was arranged by the classmate, Shui Hua, from number 1 middle school. This classmate Shui's father is a rich man in Los Angeles, the kind who doesn't need money. Because it is a family of merchants holding this evening party, I am afraid that they want to form a small group with exquisite thoughts. Into the box, Su Shin saw an acquaintance. Squad leader, are you here? It was Liang Yun. Liang Yun was approached by Su Shin, her face turned red, she lowered her head in embarrassment. Seeing this scene, Yang Su stared at Liang Yun vigilantly for a long time. Hello, student Su, I have long admired your name, please sit down. Shui Hua is a tall, clean-looking boy who speaks very politely. After Su Shin sat down, he began to introduce to Su Shin one by one the Los Angeles students who were admitted to Tian'an University this year. Su Shin found that the ratio of male to female is still very balanced. Counting him, there are 10 males and 8 females. After greeting each other, Su Shin began to ask about the Alchemy Society. The Alchemy Club is the number 1 club in Tian'an University. The conditions for joining the club are very strict. It only depends on the talent and not the identity background. The students of Tian'an University have academic schools and aristocratic schools. The Alchemy Club is the representative of the academic school. The academic school is relatively pure. There are not so many conflicts of interest. The family faction is different, basically they are the children of nobles. The conflict between the two parties is not serious, but some frictions will break out from time to time. Shui Hua paused, and after organizing the language, he spoke eloquently. Student Su can enter the Alchemy Club, it's amazing. Meng Yuan, a girl sitting next to Yang Su, suddenly took over the conversation. She looks very good, and today she is dressed up exquisitely, and she has the charm of a sweet girl. Seeing Su Shin looking at him, Meng Yuan smiled and said, I am healing magic. Although I am not strong in combat power, I should be able to play a lot of roles in a team. If I can be treated like Su Shin, it's fine if the Alchemy Club takes a fancy to it. Hearing this, Su Shin looked at her and moved his eyes down a few minutes. Suddenly frowning, it turned out that it was my younger sister Yang Su pinching her waist under the table. Only then did Su Shin look away. He originally wanted to talk to Monitor Liang Yun, but seeing that this girl was too shy, he gave up. After drinking 3 rounds, there is not much nutritious information to get, and these are only local students in Los Angeles after all, so it is difficult to expect them to have any insight. Towards the end of the party, everyone exchanged contact information. Meng Yuan suggested that everyone find a KTV to continue playing, drink more wine by the way, and toast to the future. Just play. Su Shin likes to watch the green tea girls show off their skills. But my older sister disagreed and forced Su Shin to leave early. In front of the hotel, the moonlight is bright. Su Shin looked at Yang Su with a stern face, and asked with a smile. What are you doing? Why don't you relax after the exam? Yang Su snorted lightly. That Meng Yuan must be trying to get you drunk, and then ask you to agree to her demands. It's really bad. Su Shin pretended to rub his chin in doubt, and continued to ask, is it so scheming, did you misunderstand him? No way. Yang Su is extremely angry, her big brother has never been in a relationship, so she is really innocent. Brother, you are different now. You have to be careful about girls who approach you in the future. They must have bad intentions and impure thoughts. You can't play with them. Unlike me, I only feel sorry for Big Brother. Su Shin. What's wrong? What seems to be wrong? Early the next morning, Yang Jungbing, the adoptive father who served in the army, asked for leave and came back. How should I put it? My adoptive father, Yang Jungbing, seemed to be a very upright person, and he didn't talk much. Seeing his appearance, he wanted to praise his son and daughter, but when the words came to his lips, he just said, "Very good, very energetic." The adoptive father came back this time to send Su Shin and Yangsu to Tian'an City to enroll. There are no winter and summer vacations at Master University. After the end of the unified examination, if you do not take the initiative to enroll within 1 month, you will be regarded as giving up. Su Shin naturally wanted to practice in a favorable environment like Tian'an University, so there was no need to continue to meditate at home. Take plane. It was only an hour and a half from Los Angeles to Tian'an City. But for Su Shin, the Dragon Slayer Master, taking transportation is really a torment. It was noon and the sun was shining brightly. Tian'an University is located in the very center of Tian'an City, covering an area of 120 square kilometers, which is frighteningly large. At the school gate, the security is heavy, but the crowd is still flowing. But most of them are parents sending students to school. At the reporting office at the gate, there was a long queue, and it was Su Shin and Yang Su's turn after dozens of minutes. Take out your ID card. The school personnel in charge of the report did not raise their heads, which is not a good attitude. Yang Su curled his lips and handed over his ID card. Student Yang Su, number 2021XXX6, 3rd class student. This is your student card, which contains 100 points. Your dormitory is located in room 503, building 12, Huang 12, South District of Shafu. This is the school student handbook. It contains the rules about Tian'an Academy. Remember to write it down immediately after you find the dormitory. The staff of the reporting office are unsmiling and look like they are businesslike. Yang Su took the student card. It was a chip card. The whole body was blue, representing the 3rd class students. The students of Tian'an University are divided into grades. The highest is the 1st class students, who will receive 500 points for free when they enroll. There are also special students, but that is more like an honorary title, and only those who have made great contributions to the school will be awarded by the principal himself. The higher the student's level, the more benefits. For example, on the points platform of the school, an Elements bar is priced at 10 points, and the 3rd class students will have to spend 10 points, while the 1st class students can get a 30% discount and only need to pay 7 points. It is precisely because of the division of students' grades that the students of Master University will not have an easy life. They are all reckless in practicing to improve their strength and thus improve their students' grades. Then who is my teacher? Yang Su couldn't help asking. The staff at the reporting office suddenly showed an impatient expression. You didn't do your homework beforehand. At Tian'an Academy, students can take the initiative to ask the tutors in the school, but the tutors in the school will not take the initiative to teach students, so freshmen will not be assigned tutors when they enroll. After all, the staff looked at Yang Su Shin. When you're here, give me your ID card. Su Shin didn't say anything, and took out his ID card. Li Zun, a staff member, took the ID card and scanned it. Looking at the information on it, his expression was shocked. He who was originally sitting suddenly stood up and raised his voice. 1st class student Su Shin, welcome to Tian'an Academy. You just need to go to the TN15 single-family villa in the central area of the school, and there will be special staff to serve you. This 180-degree change in attitude caused Su Shin to be somewhat astonished. Are the 1st class students of Tian'an University so popular? A 1st class student, he is a 1st class student. The 1st class student is actually by my side. This kid is a 1st class student, and he doesn't look much better than my kid. Li Zun's words immediately attracted the attention of the crowd behind him. There is no doubt that the gold content of the 1st class students of Tian'an University, as long as they don't fall halfway, is a proper mage in the future. Su Shin ignored the movement behind her and continued to ask, then, can I bring my sister to live in the detached villa arranged by the school? I don't want her to live in the dormitory. Li Zun nodded immediately, and said, yes, this is your authority. Thanks. You're welcome, you should. Su Xin dragged Yang Su into the school. The adoptive father and aunt stayed outside temporarily. On the way to the center, Yang Su was a little sullen. The receptionist just now was really snobbish. Su Xin patted her little head, and said with a smile, "What's the point of getting angry with this kind of person? Brother, you are doing well now, and there will definitely be more people to curry favor with you in the future. Then you have to curry favor with me before you curry favor with me, how about it?" Hee, that's about the same. After coaxing the girl, the two walked towards their destination while admiring the scenery of Tian'an University. I have to say, Tian'an Academy is really big. The two siblings walked for a long time before coming to the central area from the school gate. At the entrance of Villa Tian 15. After Zhao Yang received the news, he had already come here to wait in advance. Seeing Su Xin's figure in front of him becoming clearer and clearer, Zhao Yang took the initiative to step forward and said with a smile, "Su Xin, welcome to Tian'an Academy." "Mr. Zhao, please wait." "You're welcome, I just arrived too." Zhao Yang chuckled, then opened the door of the villa, motioning for Su Xin and Yang Su to enter. In the hall of the villa, there is a golden crystal card on the table, which is the student card representing the status of a first-class student. Besides, there were also some gifts that caught Su Xin's eyes. A space ring with a built-in space of 10 cubic meters. The school uniform of the first-class students belongs to the magic protective gear. It can not only increase the power of magic, but also actively expand the magic shield for defense. The production cost of this school uniform is around 1 million. There is also a staff, which is a primary staff gold system. The staff can be regarded as a mage's weapon, which can effectively increase the efficiency and power of the mage's actual combat magic. The primary staff corresponds to the first 3 ranks of mages, the intermediate staff corresponds to the middle 3rd rank, and the advanced staff corresponds to the last 3 ranks. As for the holy staff, it is exclusive to holy mages above the 9th rank. Counting the 500 points of the first-class students, plus these gifts, the total value is probably close to 10 million. This makes Su Xin have to sigh with emotion. Tens of millions of wealth. His adoptive father Yang Zhengbing could not earn so much money in his whole life, but he, Su Xin, could easily earn it just by enrolling in school. This era, talent is really valuable. Yang Su's eyes stared straight at the side, and she even subconsciously said shit, but fortunately Su Xin quickly covered her mouth with her hands to avoid losing her composure. Do you need someone to take care of your daily life? This is the authority you should have as a first-class student. Generally speaking, first-class students can bring some outsiders to take care of themselves. At the same time, they can also become foreign department students of Tian'an Academy. Although there are no benefits for the students of the academy, they can practice magic in an environment like Tian'an Academy. Su Xin was greatly surprised. The implication of these words was a servant. Am I going to betray the proletariat? No, I'll just take care of my brother. Before Su Xin could respond, Yang Su flatly refused. She understands. Some students from foreign departments rely on their bodies to get close to the first-class students. She can't let her big brother sink in the beauty. Su Xin didn't care about Sister Yang Su's little thoughts. He really didn't think about it. Zhao Yang is one of the consultant teachers of Tian'an University's Narcissus Club, and the Narcissus Club is the 10th club in Tian'an University. Although it is quite satisfactory, I heard that there are many girls and water thieves in it. Originally Zhao Yang and Su Xin wanted to invite him to join the Narcissus Club, but after learning that Su Xin was favored by the Alchemy Club, he was very sensible and didn't bring up this topic. You should familiarize yourself with the living environment first. If you need any help in the future, just contact me. After Zhao Yang finished speaking, he left first. After he left, Yang Su immediately started wandering around the villa, choosing his bedroom. The facilities in the villa are very particular. The most special thing is the independent practice room. In the practice room, there is a small magic circle that gathers the power of elements, which can make meditation achieve twice the result with half the effort. In addition, the qualifications of first-class students will be reviewed every 3 months. If the review is successful, they will get another 100 points, and if they fail, they will be reduced to second-class students. Xiaozu, I'll go to the Alchemy Society first. Su Xin has actually made a decision to join the alchemy club. So get ready to go to the top of the mountain. Without waiting for her sister to respond, Su Xin put on the school uniform of a first-class student and left the villa. He has a watch in his hand. The watch has a built-in map of the entire Tianan University. Under the voice instruction, the watch will automatically start intelligent navigation. Although it is the age of magic, the development of science and technology is not too far behind. Before going to the alchemy club, Su Xin had already contacted Senior Jin Shire in advance. Soon, Su Xin's figure appeared in front of a 30-story building. On the way here, many students took the initiative to talk to him and asked for his contact information, obviously because of the first-class student uniforms on his body. Looking at the tall building in front of him, Su Xin couldn't help showing surprise. It's amazing how big a student club can be. At the entrance of the Alchemy Society building, a blonde girl was waiting at the door. When she saw Su Xin, she walked straight over. The blonde girl has an oval face, a standard oriental beauty face, and a graceful figure. Like Su Xin, she is wearing a first-class cadet uniform. You are Su Xin. I am Jin Shisen. Jin Shisen walked up to Su Xin, looked him up and down before speaking. Her voice is very unique with a kind of arrogant and deserted. Kim 13. Hearing this name, Su Xin wanted to complain a little. What kind of parents named their daughters like this? Hello, Miss Jin. Su Xin still greeted politely. Like you, I am a freshman this year. Jin Shisen raised her eyebrows, but she seemed to like the title of senior sister, and she seemed to have a strong character. The director of the Empire's Third Institute of Magic is a 9th-level Transcendent Archmage, who was conferred the title of Golden Sword Marquis by the Empire. Jin Jano has a total of 13 children, including Jin 12 and Jin Shisen. The youngest, Jin Shisen, was only 18 years old, while the oldest, Jin Yi, was already 50 years old. This also made many people privately criticize the powerful Jin Jano as an LSP. Then, Su Xin followed Jin Shisen into the Alchemy Society building. The Alchemy Club is divided into inner club members and outer club members. Counting the inner club members and you who are about to join, there are a total of 9 members, and the number of outer club members is more, 1 or 200 people. You don't need to remember them, just know a rough idea. On the way, Jin Shisen briefly introduced the membership structure of the Alchemy Club to Su Xin. This surprised Su Xin. He knew that the Alchemy Society should be an elite system, but he didn't expect the elite to reach this point. In the entire grade, there are only 9 members of the inner society. The elevator door opened and entered the top floor of the Alchemy Society building. The newcomer is here, welcome and welcome. Walking towards him was a handsome young man with a few lip marks on his neck. His name is Li Chang, a second-year student, a 4th-rank high-ranking mage. He is currently ranked 19th in the student ranking list of Tianan Academy. I heard that you have a younger sister. He likes to hook up with girls very much. Let your younger sister pay attention. Jin Shisen looked at the handsome young man, shook his face and introduced him. Oh, what are you talking about? Junior Su joins our alchemy society as one of our own, and I will not take action against my own sister. Su Xin was about to reply. Seeing a flash in front of his eyes, his complexion turned black when he realized it. Xiao Xingxin, you really came, the teacher is so happy. Just as the lowly Ji Mengmeng climbed onto his shoulders again. Su Xin didn't know why this legal lowly was so close to him, but he knew it shouldn't be a good thing. Teacher Ji, what is this? Jin Shisen immediately looked at Ji Mengmeng in great surprise. What's the matter, are you jealous that Xiao Xingxin and I are so good? Ji Mengmeng pouted and replied. Teacher Ji is thinking too much. Jin Shisen said no more. Ji Mengmeng is an extremely famous person in Tianan Academy, but the only ones who really know her details are her father and the principal of Tianan Academy. Welcome, Su Xin, let me introduce you to the other members of the inner society. At this time, Jin 12 in front pushed Jinxi's eye sockets and began to introduce. A total of 9 internal society members. But only 5 are present. Jin Shire, Li Cheng, Jin Shisen, Su Xin, and another girl who looks very quiet. The girl was holding a mirror in her hand, and the mirror was facing Su Xin at this moment, and a paragraph of words slowly floated out of it. Hi, Brother Su, I'm Xiao Lingtong. Single quote. Su Xin was taken aback. Then he took out his mobile phone and typed out the words, "Hello, Senior Sister Xiao, nice to meet you," and showed it to the other party. The smile on Xiao Lingtong's face became wider, and a text appeared on the mirror that was obviously a magic prop. Su Shuidi is so caring, but you can talk, I am not a deaf mute. Single quote. Lingtong practices speech magic, so it is often inconvenient to speak. Jin 12 explained from the side. Speech magic. This is special magic. Could it be that? As if seeing Su Xin's thoughts, Jin 12 continued. You're right. The members of the Alchemy Society all master special magic. Li Cheng masters domain magic and is currently good at sealing. Sister 13 masters sword magic, while I master alchemy magic and sword magic. The other 4 members of the inner club master beast magic, card magic, phantom magic, and necromantic magic. Su Xin nodded slightly, then looked at Ji Yu Mengmeng who was on her shoulder, and asked, what about you, teacher Ji Yu? I didn't tell you, lol. Ji Yu Mengmeng made a grimace. As for the members of the Alchemy Society's foreign clubs, Jin 12 seems to have no intention of introducing them. He seemed to be in a hurry to find out something, so he dragged Su Xin into the innermost room. In the room, the ground has already been carved with a magic circle, which is mysterious and complicated. Brother Jin, what are you going to do? Su Xin was puzzled, so he asked. It depends on whether you are talented in alchemy or magic. Just now Brother 12 briefly mentioned the situation of the members of the inner society, but in fact their situation is far from that simple. To become a member of the alchemy club, talent is important, but the most important thing is to have creative talent. Jin Shisen, the golden retriever girl, interjected from the side. Creative talent. Su Xin was even more clouded. Jin Shisen explained. Sister Shisen is talking about the creativity of magic, and magic has infinite possibilities. The so-called creative talent is to create magic moves by yourself. For example, Zhang Yue, the thunder mage you met in the examination room, her thunder magic, Lei Wu armor was created by herself. Isn't that just creating moves, and it's not some brand new magic created by the mountain monster? Su Xin felt as though nothing happened. But what Jin Shisen said next made him put away his thoughts. Creating one's own magic moves is just the beginning. The Alchemy Society is backed by the Magic Research Institute, and the research topics are very profound. Among them are magic power conversion and magic power fusion. Okay, let's get started. Jin Shisen walked into the magic circle. Alchemy magic is also called alchemy magic. After all, seeing that Jin 12 clapped his hands together, and then pulled his palms together, a golden long sword was formed in his palms. I will. Su Xin blinked after reading it. The others also knew that he would. After all, they knew that he had killed 100 second-order monsters with one move before. It's just the basics. Jin 12 smiled lightly. Then, he suddenly pressed his palms on the ground, and a stone slab turned into a gold brick at a speed visible to the naked eye. There is a taste of turning stone into gold. Refining one substance into a different substance is the essence of magic. If you master the ability to convert magic power, you can even transform flames into water. It sounds exaggerated, but this is the creativity of magic. Su Xin raised her eyebrows upon hearing this. The flame turned into a stream of water. This completely violates the common sense of physics, but this is a magical era, and it is always weird to care about the common sense of physics. Then senior brother Jin has mastered magic transformation. Su Xin then asked. Jin 12 shook his head and sighed, it's not that simple. I think it's quite simple. Su Xin said, you come and try. With the blessing of the magic circle, I will guide you next to me. Whether you have the talent for alchemy magic or not, you will know soon. Jin 12 signaled Su Xin to walk into the magic circle. Xiao Xingxin, come on. Ji Yu Mengmeng leaned on Su Xin's shoulder to cheer. Su Xin pondered for a while. After a while, he walked into the magic circle. Following Jin 12's appearance, he immediately pressed his palms to the ground. Buzz buzz. I saw the entire floor began to vibrate violently, then began to melt, and immediately turned into gold, and the last golden statue the size of a person was refined. The golden statue is exactly what the golden 12 looks like. For a while, everyone in the room held their breath subconsciously, staring at the golden statue of Jin 12, their eyes full of shock. Even Jin 12 looked stunned. Su Shin, did you learn alchemy before? Li Cheng cried out in shock. Is this him? What kind of fairy talent? Can he learn it as soon as he learns it? He learned this alchemy magic at the beginning, but it took nearly a year to master it initially. Senior sister Xiao Lingtong reflected in the mirror in her hand. Oh my god, brother Su, you are too good. Jin Shisen fell silent completely. She stood behind Su Shin without saying a word, her eyes flickered, she didn't know what she was thinking. I have never been exposed to alchemy magic, but in my opinion, this alchemy magic is almost just gold magic. Su Shin shook his head. To be honest, I was quite disappointed. I thought the alchemy magic would be some kind of magical magic. He has mastered the Iron Dragon Slayer magic corresponding to the gold element, and the gold element affinity is 100%, so learning the same type of magic will be very fast. Plus, the key to this alchemy magic lies in the application of magic power, but it is Su Shin's strong point, which leads to the effect of mastering it quickly. I really didn't see the wrong person. Jin 12 came back to his senses, suppressed the surprise in his heart, and smiled at Su Shin. Su Shin suddenly thought of something, and asked, is there a human body? Yes, but that's a research topic banned by the Imperial Research Institute, so don't cross the line. Jin 12 hastily reminded him. Su Shin, what kind of special magic are you? At this time, Jin Shisen, who had been silent all this time, suddenly asked. It's the dual element magic of gold and fire. Su Shin looked at the golden retriever girl and laughed. Jin Shisen was dissatisfied with the answer, so he snorted lightly and didn't ask any more questions. In her opinion, joining the Alchemy Society and becoming a member of the Inner Society means that they are one of their own, and they should trust each other instead of hiding it. Of course, this is her idea. Su Shin cares about a feather. After a while, Jin 12 made it clear that Su Shin would go back for a few days before coming to the Alchemy Society to report officially. It is estimated that the things he prepared today are useless, because Su Shin's performance far exceeds his performance. Su Shin was also very straightforward and left the Alchemy Society. After he left, hey, is this him a monster? To describe him as a genius is an insult to me. Li Cheng was the first to break the silence. Exaggerate. Xiao Lingtong spoke rarely, but there were only 2 words. There must be secrets in him. His identity and background are too clean, but the more this is the case, the weirder it is. Jin Shisen hesitated and talked about this aspect. Geniuses always have secrets, Jin 12 added. He opened his mouth and wanted to continue to say something, but after thinking about it carefully, he still hid it in his heart. Just as the lowly Gu Mengmeng was thinking like a little adult. When Su Shin was practicing just now, she was lying on Su Shin's shoulder. Generally, the relationship between mages and magic power and elemental power is borrowed and stored in their own bodies. Even a high-level mage has limited magic power and elemental power stored in his body, but a high-level mage can mobilize the magic power between heaven and earth to a certain extent. But Su Shin gave her completely different senses. It is not so much borrowed as it is mastered. Or, Su Shin's magical power has been completely integrated with the body. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.